What you like to do?
Oh, I don't know. Play chess. Screw.
Well, let's play chess.
Richardson gonna take off and run. He's in there! Touchdown! I-N-D-Y! Outside give to Taylor. Stretching it out. He's at the 5, and he walks in untouched. Jonathan Taylor. Turner wants to do more damage, and he does.
Here's Halliburton into the front court. Mishandled it, but gets a shot. Hits it! Hits it!
John, I have never been better to be on the air with you here in Indianapolis, a place where so many of my dreams have come true.
The Ride with JMV on 93.5 and 107.5. The Fan.
What if I told you this is an absolute gorgeous October day in central Indiana and you have the opportunity to join us at a legendary location? You need to jump in your car, truck, or van and get to 56 and Keystone. We are at the Mousetrap today and ready to rock and ready to roll. We're going to do week 6 of our Larceny Bourbon Locks and Luna Azul Tequila Shots. And if you feel that I sound differently today, if you feel that I sound excited, and you know that it's not about the Colts because they're injured and they haven't been good, all the above, right? It's not that. That's not the reason. But the reason is I told you I was coming back. You know, don't call it a comeback. I've been here for years. A little LL Cool J reference for Mama Said Knock You Out right there. I told you I was coming back in week number 5, and I came back with a vengeance in week number 5, of which we'll get to coming up in just a minute. So, yes, there is a reason why I'm feeling much better. It is because of that simple fact and because we get to celebrate today with you off of Keystone at the legendary Mousetrap, and we are going to be busy. Pacers in action later on tonight, preseason game 2. That's with the Cleveland Cavaliers. Kristen Airy is going to join us coming up at the bottom of the hour. Mike Chappell, I'm assuming, is going to go over. We thought it was a MASH unit last week. We thought that they were injury-riddled last week. It's even worse this week. We got the news yesterday regarding Michael Pittman Jr. and shared that with you right here, which is yet another reason why you listen every single day, every single show. However, you get Josh Downs, who was watching today. You still don't know anything regarding Richardson, although I think Kevin Bowen described him as, quote, looking spry. Kevin Bowen going back to the 1950s for that description on how Anthony Richardson looks. Very spry. Now, I don't know. Is spryness a word? I'll just make some stuff up. It probably sounds spryness. Very spry today, working out. So we'll see if he goes. We'll see if it's Flacco. The cat and mouse continues. But I will also tell you this. I may not have the guts at the end of this afternoon to pick the Colts on the road where they're a dog and where everybody is injured, especially their better players, considering the circumstances. But I will tell you this, I don't give a damn how I pick. But my expectation is for this group against that team to hang in, and these are still incredibly important games. I know how all of you are thinking this thing is circling the drain, and why not? Because it has all the looks. You know, the record, the way they lost last week, the defense has been absolutely awful so far. Injured or not, it hasn't mattered. They've been awful. And then you factor in the schedule that is coming up when they start the month of November of 2024. Sure, there are plenty of reasons, but this is still Tennessee. Will Levis is still going to throw you the football. He will at some point if you're just like awake enough or good enough or in position enough to be there and catch it. He's going to give you the opportunity. But, yeah, a little bit of window to the world of our picks for week number 6 right there as well. Plus, I do have something to give away. Actually, multi-things to give away. I asked this question, and this is what happens when you have a team that's 2-3 and is coming off an incredibly disappointing loss at Jacksonville. I asked the question, are you going to Nashville this weekend? And not to celebrate, somebody getting married and their bachelorette party where they all walk around. They still do that, the bachelorette parties with, like, wiener hats on. They like wiener hats. Hey, give me my wiener hat. They walk around with I don't know why they do the wiener hats, but they walk around with wiener hats. It's not that. It is a celebration. I'll let you in on what I'm going to give you a chance to do if you are going down to Nashville this weekend specifically to watch the Colts and the Titans coming up in just a minute. And a product of the reason why I am feeling good. In fact, Kevin Bowen would describe me as feeling spry. I'm very spry right now. I'm feeling good. Brent Halverson, our betting analyst, Heaven Hill Distillery, is live at the Mousetrap with us.
Well, hello, my friend.
It got swept in to be a part of an impromptu parking lot video a little bit earlier.
Kind of got spooked for a minute. I just
who's
pulled
this
in.
boob that's coming up here with his camera and my grill right here? Thank you very much.
Oh, that's awesome. Great little entrance. Great. What a beautiful day.
I'm spry. I'm spry at the Mousetrap.
You are one spry-looking dude, man.
I am.
You look it, you feel it, you exude it these days, man.
I've eaten a nutrition bar and 3 bites of cottage cheese today. That's how spry I am, buddy.
That's outstanding. Maybe a little tuna fish later for dinner?
I probably about 11 o'clock. I'm going to go see Clayton Anderson at Everwise tonight.
Okay.
So after that, I'll get home, maybe some tuna and some cottage cheese together, mix it up
That'll
in
be
a
your
pot.
after late night snack, after
Mix
show
it up
snack.
in a pot and make it spicy.
So you're
Ron
going to
Burgundy
Clayton
say that, I
Anderson
think?
tonight.
Yeah.
You going to go to Billy Strings tomorrow night or
I
Saturday?
have no idea. Who's Billy Strings?
You don't know who Billy Strings is?
Who's,
oh, John.
We say Billy Strings where I come from.
Well,
is it Strings or Strangs?
It's Strings or Strings, whatever you want to call it. But it is the best music that's come out in the past 20 years.
Is it really?
Oh, Billy's
and
awesome.
how am I
man.
not onto this? Is
I don't
because
know.
I'm stuck in 1985.
Bluegrass,
Is why.
jam, country. I mean,
Yes.
it's everything, man. And sold out. 2 sold-out shows at Gamebridge this weekend, Friday, Saturday.
Billy Strings has got 2 sold-out shows at Gamebridge.
Oh, yeah. I'll be at both of them.
What does Billy Strings do?
Bluegrass, man. Just bluegrass
I love
jam.
bluegrass.
I mean,
Is it like the Dillards from Andy Griffith?
Much better, John. Much better.
They do a song called Dooley Dooley.
I guarantee you Billy Strings would take that and turn that into this most amazing jam that you've ever heard.
And I'll pay you back someday. No?
Hey, you should start a band.
I could be good.
Call it
I'm
the
a
Spry
big-time
Guys.
bluegrass fan.
Dude, you got to check out Billy Strings then. So Billy Strings at Gamebridge. Hey, and I'll tell you what, we're talking about the Mousetrap here. We're at the Mousetrap.
Yes.
They're doing they've got like a VIP luxury shuttle bus that they're going to take people to and from the show.
Oh, really?
For $35,
Son
and
of a
that's a
gun.
big, beautiful Prevost, and yeah, man. So we're in the right spot, the right time.
What do they drink? Do they drink out of jugs at the Billy Strings show?
You drink out of whatever is going to get.
Is it like a jug with a cork in the top
If
of
that's
it?
what you got, that's what you drink, right? Yeah, that's what you got.
It
that's
sounds
what you
good.
drink.
Listen, I've heard good things.
Well,
I believe he's also doing. Is he not doing a benefit show with Luke Combs and others? I think
Yes.
for North Carolina.
Yes.
And
October
that area
26th.
for
I did see
Hurricane
that
Helene,
down in North Carolina,
Yeah.
but Charlotte, I believe, right?
Charlotte,
yeah,
football stadium.
Just
whatever
saw it
the
was
hell that's
announced,
called
but
now.
yeah, Billy Strings is a part of that. He just amazing, man. So if you get a chance, let's add that to your repertoire. I know you got Clayton Anderson tonight, but maybe you
Yes,
do a
Billy, me and
trifecta.
Billy Strings.
Do a trifecta.
I like
Oh,
bluegrass.
bro, it'll blow your mind. It really will blow your mind. So
Yeah, I love the Dillards back then. Don't Hit Grandma with a Great Big Stick was one of my favorite bluegrass songs of all time.
well, okay. That's going to be
It
tough to
is.
top, but I guarantee it'll get tough.
Another reason why I'm so happy with my good friend Brent Halverson, our betting analyst from Heaven Hill Distillery, is because of the week that I had last week.
You had a great week.
Yes.
I mean, we
Talking
were
about-
all above 500 finally, right? I mean, that was
Yeah.
outstanding. So you went 10-4.
10-4. You hear that? 10-4.
And you're just now above the 500% or 500%. You're just above that 50% line.
10-4, good buddy.
10-4,
I'm making
good buddy.
money right now.
You're making money. You made money
I'm
last
making
week.
somebody
I made some
money.
good money last week too, my man. But I went 8-6 in our picks since we picked them all. But as we talk, we don't bet them all.
Right.
But man, had a good weekend last week.
I was feeling good about a lot of those. I know my Arizona Cardinals got in there big, won it outright too on the road at San Francisco. So
very surprising, and you were spot on that one. Your larceny lock didn't. Your Patriots again
It
bit you.
didn't,
They
but
bit you again.
I flipped a coin between my lock, between that and the Commanders, and I should have taken the Commanders.
I tell you, that's probably the game we'll talk a little bit more in depth on, that Washington Commanders Baltimore Raven game.
I'm riding that Commanders train right now for
I tell
free.
you what, they're hot, but
Yeah.
Baltimore looks great too.
They
man.
do.
Man, Baltimore was a big reason of my going to that window to cash some tickets.
Yep.
Last week, Baltimore was a big reason. That and the Packers, my larceny lock came in. Sitting at 3-1 on larceny locks.
With our Larceny Bourbon Locks and Luna's Old Tequila Shots at the Mousetrap, Brent Halverson and JMV. Let's get our very early look. And still on a Thursday, it's incredibly early. Guys, injury list, everybody that's not participating in practice today for the Colts, and then you factor in 2.5-point dogs on the road after what happened last week in Jacksonville and Nashville this weekend. Our very early Larceny Bourbon Locks, Luna Azul Tequila Shots look at week number 6 and that Colts and Titans matchup.
Yeah, it's going to be interesting. I mean, the Titans, we know their struggles they've had, right? But they're coming off a bye. Indy kind of struggles a little bit with Tennessee Titans here and there, so it's going to be interesting to see. But, the Titans are sitting at 1-3, and
Yes.
and the Colts are 2-3. Right, somebody's got to make some moves here because it's that time of the year. We're a third of the way through the season.
It's incredible already, right?
It blows my mind.
You think about high school football, they're about ready to have their sectional draw.
Yeah,
the pairing
absolutely.
show's about ready to come up, too.
It's all happening.
It goes fast.
But yeah, so back to that game. It's gonna be interesting. It's gonna be number one, who's gonna be quarterbacking for us, right?
Right on.
That's going to be the other question,
Yes.
right? Who's going to be? I'll be honest with you.
Well, I mean,
Flacco
Kevin
looks.
Bowen said he looks spry.
Well, I know he looks
Anthony
spry,
Richardson.
but I don't know what spry means. But Flacco,
I love spry. That's a good word.
Flacco,
See,
man.
Kevin Bowen's so much smarter than me. Dang it. I know he got that smarts real good from Brad Bowen, though, so he comes by it honestly.
That's good pedigree.
Spry's a good word.
Spry's a great word. We're going to bring that back, huh? I'm going to keep that in the
spry.
repertoire.
So he looked spry today. Joe Flacco looked good last week,
Man,
though.
I tell you, he did, and he kept them in that game. They were getting blown out, right?
Yeah.
And then Flacco and then it went back and forth at the end, which was outstanding. But it's going to be interesting. You got to see who's going to be a quarterback. I mean, what's Jonathan Taylor? How's he really doing? I mean, there's a lot of key ingredients there. There's some injury bugs.
And the defense sucks out loud.
Defense is horrible.
I mean, even with or without guys, too.
Yes.
I mean, don't give me the excuse, well, last week they missed so many people. That's all I got. It didn't matter. In weeks number 1, weeks number 2, they had guys, and Joe Mixon ran all over the world on them. So did Josh Jacobs in the first half. They lost to Malik Willis. So don't give me that crap. It has not looked good. It has not looked good at all under Gus Bradley. And really, if you truly wanted to do something, Dallas Flowers was an easy ouster earlier in the week. Do something about your defensive coordinator. Blame Chris, because Chris is the one that put all this crap together. If you go blame somebody, Dallas Flowers, I'm sure it's an easy blame, but you would be more, to me, inaccurate than blaming a lot of other folks on that defensive side of the football, and really decision makers in general, Brett.
Yeah, you're right. And honestly, I think, you got Pollard and Tajay Spears, right? I mean, I think you're going to see a double-headed dose. They've kind of seen what the run game can go do, and, that's going to be where that game's at. I mean, I don't think it's going to be a big high-scoring affair, shootout event, because you got Levis and we don't know who we have yet, but it's probably going to be the spry.
I would say Anthony Richardson's going to be.
Yeah, I think that
Because
Pollard and Spears both are going to have a field day.
And because we know only bad things happen for the Colts and their fans here in this particular run. So what's going to happen is Richardson's going to go out there. And this is the pessimistic viewpoint, by the way. Brought to you by, this is the pessimistic viewpoint, is that you go out there, it doesn't look good, and then you're going to have everybody in the world calling for Joe Flacco basically in the first 6 minutes of the game coming up on Sunday. That's how, if you're taking that schleprock attitude, that's how we look at this team. That's how we look at it. You wait for the worst case scenario to take place, and that's what I would expect coming up on Sunday. I hope not. Last time you saw Richardson, let's just say that really small sample size, he looked good, Brent.
Yeah, he did. Absolutely.
He was throwing lasers out there. They were accurate lasers, too. It wasn't like a stormtrooper shooting at everything in the world except Luke Skywalker. I mean, it was like he was all over right there.
Oh, yeah.
In the games before, but he was focused in that little sample size that we saw a couple of weeks ago. But yeah, you just wait until things change consistently for the better. You just kind of sit around and wait for the bad things to occur. You're
absolutely right. And again, every week's different, right? And again, you got to play this. I mean, everybody's fighting the injury bug. There's a lot of that's it, right? You got to play around it. The play calling is where it's going to come into play, though. And I still think when Richardson, I think it was week 3. He got hit, banged up pretty hard, went off, then he came right back in. They do another running play to him. but don't run him right there, right?
Back-to-back banging.
Yeah, that's a double bang, if you will.
So,
right?
And here's the problem you're going to have with that, Brent, is that is a part of the repertoire and the reason in which they drafted him at number 4 overall, because he brought that, quote, entire package.
Absolutely.
So if you take away some of that package, then he's not nearly the same quarterback, and then it's drastically different.
I'm not saying take it away. I'm just saying play he just got dinged a little bit. Don't send him back into the fire again. Get it. Let's move the ball. Get Taylor the ball.
My man also makes some of those decisions on his own.
Well, I know, but that play afterwards was not. That was a designed, unless they said you call whatever you want, and he called it. That was a designed run right there, and it paid. I mean, it didn't pay for him. It was painful for him.
It was. That's Brent Halverson right there on JMV at the legendary Mousetrap at 56 in Keystone, We would love to see you here. Larceny, Bourbon Locks, Luna Azul Tequila Shots coming up here in the 4 o'clock hour. Any other games? Week number 6, jump off the page for you. How about this Thursday night, or how are we feeling about that?
Look what your Arizona Cardinal pick, which not only covered +7, but also
the
won
Cardinals
outright.
As hard as I am the Commanders.
I tell you, the 49ers, they're banged up. They don't look like the 49ers. We're still, they're without McCaffrey. That's going on. And we might not see him until later this year, but that's just one little piece. But Kittle's banged up. Debo's back. He didn't do much last week. The Seahawks
lost to the Giants.
They lost to the Giants at home without their two biggest weapons. And Malik Neighbors.
Yes.
Malik Neighbors, I think, is probably the biggest number one rookie receiver that has changed a team. So when you take him out alone, but then they came back and they hang 29 on them, and I think the defense.
Metcalf is basically non-existent in that game.
Yeah, you got to get your playmaker. We talk about it every week. You got to get those playmakers involved. Tonight's game, I think it'll be great. There's a stat, John. There are 10 out of the 14 games. 10 away favorites. There are 10 home dogs this week and only 4 favorites.
I noticed there's a lot of roadies.
5,
a lot of roadies there. You look at this. Let's see. Did you say 10? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. You got 9
Is it
right
9?
here.
Okay.
I think 9 road
So the
favorites.
Colts were favored by 1, but that flopped over to 2.5. So that was 10
tell you all you
and
need
4.
to know about
it
the
tells you a lot, right there.
It
It tells me
guys
a lot.
right here.
That's
so
right.
9 road favorites. I'm trying to think how many. See, because that's where you find out if the host of the show has something in the sack right there. I'm trying to see how many times I went with the road favorite, because that's obvious, or I should say against the road favorite in this case. But, man, there are a lot of opportunities with those 9 to do that.
There really are. And, we do have a big number floating out there. 9.5 is our biggest one. We haven't seen one around there in a while. So, but you got the Philadelphia Eagles that they're a 9.5-point favorite over the Browns, the struggling Browns, the I don't want to play Browns, whatever the hell's going on there. But you've got the Eagles.
The worst trade in the history of NFL trades.
Yeah, for sure.
It's weird because the Colts have the worst play in the history of NFL plays with that whole, Colt Anderson thing back against the Patriots. That's like the worst play of all time. The Browns are going to go down in history with the worst trade of all time.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah.
They're talking now. They're paying them all this money. And
they're getting nothing. Zero. Zilch, and they're going to get nothing.
Yeah,
it's
absolutely.
Over. It is over.
It is, and nobody wants to be there. You're going to see Amari Cooper's probably going to be traded before the deadline. You're going to see those stars kind of go away. They're going to rebuild once again. It's Cleveland being Cleveland, right? So, that's a big number, 9.5. But you got the Eagles finally got their receivers back. I think they're both back. They're both healthy. Saquon coming off a bye, all the stuff. I think the Eagles might come out and just soar.
I like that.
Right over Cleveland.
So, I like the Falcons to soar too, to be honest.
Well, the Falcons look good.
Although this is not a primetime standalone game, so they may not play as well as they normally do, because those are the situations in which
Is this the first time they've not – this isn't a primetime game?
I don't know if it's the first time, but it's pretty close.
I feel like I could tell you everything about the Falcons you want to know, because I've watched them on primetime every single week.
When they play on a standalone, they're really good. They're completely different.
Look, Kirk Cousins, he 509 yards, 4 tutties. They had 52 passes I think he threw. He's got it. He does have it. Drake London looks really good, too.
That's Brent Halverson, JMV, Larceny Bourbon Locks, Luna Azul Tequila Shots a week. Number 6 coming up at the Mousetrap. We'd love to see you, and that samplage will be flowing as well. All right, quickly, let's get ourselves an update. The Express Pro Tire and Auto Mount Vernon volleyball update. What's the latest?
We've got a game tonight against New Pal. It's the final game of the season.
Is that your biggest rival, New Pal?
No, it's really, Pendleton just by location.
Do you look at New Pal as hillbillies if you're Mount Vernon?
No. Who
do you look at hillbillies if you're Mount Vernon? Who are the hillbillies you play? Because I never went anywhere where I wasn't the hillbilly. I was always the hillbilly. And we got to play these hillbillies. And I'm going to Shakamak. And I go, wait a minute. You guys are hillbillies. No, wait a minute. You white trash or hillbillies? Which one are you? We got to play these hillbillies. Wait, you're in Switch City, all right? Who's the hillbillies here? So where do you go where you have to play hillbillies?
John, I don't really.
You don't feel comfortable answering that?
I don't like using the hillbilly word because it gets
I was always the hillbilly. Yeah, we got to go here and play that hillbilly.
Yeah, we've got some good teams in the conference. I mean, it's the Pendleton and Yorktown. The Yorktown's been the Achilles heel.
You like
though.
the sponsorship for the Mount Vernon volleyball
I
segment?
do like
brought to you
that.
by Express Pro Tire and Auto, 13 Central Indiana. Joe Childers run location.
Joe Childers is a great guy, too.
ExpressPro.com.
Look at
Yes,
that.
he
That's
is.
awesome. I love that. No, Mount Vernon volleyball. The girls are looking great. They did the sectional draw last Sunday, so they got Richmond on Tuesday and then go up against Yorktown on Saturday. It's going to be a tough one.
Our friend Greg, who's also from Mount Vernon,
Blunt,
suggests that Newcastle would be the hillbillies that you guys play.
Well, that could be. I don't classify anybody in any situations, but no, we've got we've got a great group of girls playing. And John, it's been fun. It's a great season, and I'm looking forward to next year too. I mean, it's going to be. That's what these girls have been doing for Sierra. This is her third year in varsity, and next year will all be all those seniors. There's only 3 seniors this year. It's gonna be sad to see those girls go, but next year there's 8. There's 8 seniors that will be.
Do you and Greg know that you guys have no bigger volleyball fan on the radio or TV or anywhere out here than me? I'm the biggest.
Is that right?
Oh yes.
Why don't you come to a game?
I'm following.
Come to a game.
Well, I got to keep on going, and then you leave every Thursday.
Well, I know, but right
I got to
after
go
this,
until like 6:30 tonight for some. Hey, James, do I got to go until 6:30 tonight? Is this true? 6:30?
Yes, 6:30.
I'm going to start. Here's what's going to happen. I'm just going to start dropping F-bombs. I'm going to go to 6:30. Hey, Dev, did you bring the delay here? If I drop F-bombs, is that okay? Devin does not.
I have a delay button over here.
I'm just going to have an F-bomb segment. How about that?
Hey, you can join me then, right at 6:05. Just drop the bomb.
Well, I mean,
go.
we'll just talk about everything coming up in the 6
Absolutely.
o'clock hour. But no, that's your Mount Vernon volleyball update brought to you by Express Pro Tire and Auto and your 13 Central Indiana Joe Childers run locations. There you go.
I absolutely love it, man.
We went to Monrovia. Hey, we got to go play Monrovia. Hey, these hillbillies from Eastern are coming. You're in Monrovia, all right? You're the hillbillies. I'm not.
Pot calling kettle. Is that what they say?
Quick break. We'll come back. That's James back there. I'm John. Denary, bottom of the hour. There's no TV tonight for the Pacers in Cleveland, but however, there is radio. We got you covered right here. I'm going to lead you to that coming up at the 6 o'clock hour with our F-bomb ridden segment right up to Mark Boyle, Pat Boylan, and Eddie Gill. Preseason game 2 against the Cavaliers. Both teams are 0-1. That's coming up. I did that for Mark Boyle, by the way. Both teams are 0-1. 6:30 your coverage begins later on tonight. Denary, bottom of the hour. Mike Chappell coming up at the 5 o'clock hour. You've got our Larceny Bourbon Locks and Luna Azul Tequila shots and the samples. Brent, are flowing, right?
Absolutely. Come on up. One of the best bars in the entire state of Indiana here at the Mousetrap. They've got all kinds of great Heaven Hill products. Come see Nicole Troy, Mike Cordo. We're going to have Mike up join us for some picks later.
I love Mike.
But their food, I've got the best chicken salad that you'll ever have is here at the Mousetrap. They've got all kinds of really good food.
Do they have tuna?
They do have
in
tuna.
The can?
It's all homemade.
Just open up a can and put it on a plate.
All homemade, my man. This isn't your chicken of the sea and all that jazz.
Just open up a can, put it on a plate. My God, that's what I'm looking for.
Kanda, one of the great bartenders of all time, she makes all this stuff here, so it's all fresh. But, yes, I'm going to go over there, and I've got a chicken salad sandwich way down. I'm going to go in and enjoy. I'll tell you how it was.
You got it.
We'll
Let
talk
me know.
on the other side.
It's Brent Ulverson right there inside the AAA Membership Lounge via YouTube Live. A couple of closeout opportunities in the AL later on tonight. Guardians and Tigers with Detroit, a chance to close at home. Yankees, Royals, 2 games and 1 best of 5 with the Yankees, an opportunity to close on the road at KC later on tonight. That and more coming at you from the Mousetrap, 56th and Keystone on a Larceny Bourbon Locks, Luna Azul Tequila shots Thursday. Do not go anywhere. It's 93.5, 107.5 The Fan.
with JMV.
If somebody gets in your face and calls you a I want you to be nice.
93.5 and 107.5. The Fan.
Oh, the legendary Mousetrap. I'm ready for another one right here, brother. You know what? We got a little. Is this Billy Strings here? Is this William Strings?
This is Billy Strings.
Will Strings right here, Brent. Check it out.
Oh, there we go. I got a little mic now. This is softer, but this is, I'm telling you, you will absolutely dig this, my man.
I use my hoe in the garden, but I may not have it here. Is that not the lyric right there?
It
I have my hoe in the garden, but I
I'm
may
gonna
not
let
use
old
it here.
William know that that's what it should be.
That's
nice.
the
It's awesome,
entire
dude.
sound of Billy Strings.
That is
right
the
there.
softer version. You need to get you a little dust in a baggie. I mean, that Billy Strings. I'm telling you, John, you've got to open that Pandora, open your YouTube, and check out a little Billy Strings, man. It'll do
That's pretty
your
good. I love
soul good.
bluegrass. I
Though.
do. That sounds like what they used to do at the Founders Day in my hometown of Owensburg. They would have a group get up there and play all day of bluegrass music, and everybody would love it. Have you ever watched the Dillards on Andy Griffith's show?
I have.
They do bluegrass.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely. I
Do they
love
have-
bluegrass.
Does Billy Strings have somebody that plays the jug?
There's no
like-
jug that I have seen
Like
yet.
Mr. Darling did, who was Denver Pyle, also Uncle Jesse on Dukes of Hazzard. I always wanted to play the
Your
jug.
mind is amazing. You'd be good at that, too.
I would.
Singing while doing your...
Good jug guy right here, man. Hey, Britt rejoins in a second, too. Again, we got samples flowing. Mousetrap, it's legendary here at 56 in Keystone, Large Bourbon Locks. Luna Azul Tequila Shots, week 6. Hey, by the way, too, anybody going down, I've got something for you if you're going to... Stop it. Nashville this weekend. If you're going to Tennessee for the game, and we're going to give away something for you. Actually, I've got multi-somethings for you, but I need to know that you're going because we don't want to jack around if you're not going. You just call up and win. That's meaningless. But if you're going, for those that can win, I've got a little pregame party from Bullseye passes lined up for you on Sunday. If you want, just let me know. Do that coming up a little bit later on. In the meantime, of the Andy Moore Automotive Group hotline. He is a friend of the show, the voice of the Pacers on TV, Valley Sports Indiana, and his name is Chris Denary. Hello, Chris. How are you?
Hey, JMV, how are you doing? Well, it sounds like you guys are having a great time at the Mousetrap.
How can you tell? Hey, I will tell you this. You know me. I could have a good time at a shoebox, but I love this place. Yes, there's no doubt. Yeah.
Yeah, not too far away from where our youngest son, Max, lives. He lives in the Broad Ripple area, so I know that he has frequented the Mousetrap time and time again.
No. Have him come over. We'll get him
Complimentary
couple
beverages.
Yes. Hey, by the way, Steve Girardi says don't crack on. I'm not cracking on Billy Strings. I like it. I like bluegrass.
I know. I think he was. Steve's awesome, by the way.
Yeah, I love Steve.
Love you, man.
He is awesome.
No, I think he probably took your lyrical improv you just threw together.
I think
there.
that improv sounded pretty good.
It didn't sound bad. You had it to the tune. You were dialed in, singing about doing your dishes and all that stuff. But yeah,
Are you a Billy Strings guy, Chris?
No, I have heard of Billy Strings. I wouldn't say I'm a Billy Strings guy. You know me. I was a longtime Hootie and the Blowfish. Darius went country. Luke Combs, Jordan Davis, Mitchell Tenpenny, Old Dominion. Yeah, that's where I land.
It makes sense. All right, you guys aren't doing the game tonight again, right? You guys getting bored with this preseason stuff so far?
We've got the next two. We've got the game against Memphis on Monday, where Zach Edey will be at Gainbridge Fieldhouse with the Memphis Grizzlies. And then we have next Thursday, a week from tonight, Charlotte in the fourth and final preseason game. So, yeah, I mean, we are chomping at the bit to get started. We'll do every game this year, but the four that are on TNT, those are on after the first of the year, so in 2025. So we will do 78 of the 82. Right now, there's 80 on the schedule because you don't know what happens with the in-season tournament. But, we are ready to go, and we'll be on the air on Monday.
It's Chris Denary, Valley Sports Indiana, voice of the Pacers on the Andy Moore Automotive Group hotline. Of course, the game can be heard right here later on tonight. I had two takeaways because there's very little you can come up with, especially in preseason game one. But I thought as much as I've seen Wiseman either in Golden State or Detroit, most of the time sparingly, I thought when he was out there, his minutes, he looked hungry and motivated. That's a good thing for something that's trying to re-spark his career, somebody that certainly once upon a time was viewed as something and is trying to regain or, complement that status and backing it up on the floor. I think you saw that. And I really thought with that first group, this is always going to hold true. This team is always at its best. I'm not talking about defensively yet or rebounding yet. At its best, when the ball moves and doesn't stick, this team is as good as anybody. And they opened up that 7-point first quarter lead. And I think all of those aspects offensively help build into that. Those are the two things I noticed in preseason game one.
Yeah, I agree with you. The 22-5 start was impressive. You're right. The ball was moving. Andrew Nembhard was aggressive. Pascal Siakam was hitting threes. Tyrese was orchestrating. And you're right. No Miles Turner, no Isaiah Jackson. And James Wiseman steps right in, gets offensive rebounds. And I think he can be a real factor for the Pacers this year. Whatever role that is, of course, off the bench. You have to be deep at the center position because of injuries. 4 games in 5 nights, those types of things. And I was very impressed. And John, if you look at the last few years, guys that the Pacers have taken from another team, and look how well they've done. Aaron Nesmith, Obi Toppin. So I think James Wiseman looks at that and says, hey, this is a place where I can excel. I've got a coaching staff, a development staff that really works with me. And I've been very impressed in training camp, watching him in practice, and then watching him in Fan Jam on Sunday, and then Tuesday in Atlanta. I thought very impressive for his first minutes with the Pacers.
So, Chris Denari on the Andy Moore Automotive Group hotline. I would add T.J. McConnell to that mix, too, because he's just, kind of a guy, hey, the little engine that could. And here's what's funny, Chris. I love how the Atlanta folks described McConnell, because you could tell they hadn't seen him play for nothing. They had no idea what they were talking about, they're breaking down his defense. You go at him right away. You don't let him get comfortable defensively. They treated him like he's a guy that never plays, and he's the guy that he used to be. And now he's an essential part of a really good team in the NBA. And I would view James Wiseman as trying to find those niche spots, as we have seen McConnell do, to get into this mix and make this team, this good team, even better.
Yeah, what you say about TJ, he had a stellar year last year, a career year. And if you think about it, when they needed him the most in Game 6 to make sure you don't go back to Milwaukee in the first round, he goes for 20 points, a playoff career high. So he's a guy that absolutely wanted to be back. The franchise wanted him back. The teammates wanted him back. And you're right. That's what you saw on Tuesday when he came in and played was exactly what you saw from him, for the better part of last year. And, Here we were a year ago at this time, John. He did not have a role with this team. But it really all changed when Andrew Nembhard moved into the starting lineup with Tyrese Halliburton, and that gave TJ the opportunity to play the backup point guard, and things have been different since.
I thought with Mathurin, too, being back, and to me, this is completely logical. I thought that his body was in front of his mind a little bit right here. Right? He was going past the whole thinking thing, and that just takes reps to get back into it. There was nothing wrong with it, don't get me wrong, but trying to acclimate to what they're doing and trying to get both your mind and body on that same page is going to take a little bit of time, and that's kind of what I saw in preseason game one from him.
Yeah, I thought he was trying to do all the right things. The one thing that, as he watched his teammates at the end of the regular season and in the postseason is, as you said, how that ball moves. And, Benedict Mathurin has been a tremendous player at Arizona. He had a really good rookie year and was, had a good year too, but they need him to fit in a little bit more as far as that ball movement, and he wants to do that. And, that was not a part of his repertoire when he was in college, and when you come into the NBA, you play a certain way. So I'm with you. I think he was only 1 of 8 from the field. He didn't shoot it well on Tuesday, but watching that game, he was trying to do all the right things. And you're right. That's just going to come, as the season progresses, as the rest of the preseason progresses, as he gets ready to come off the bench.
Yeah, Chris, he had the rhythm of me, I thought, in preseason game 1. You know what I mean? It was completely broken down rhythm-wise, but that all just comes back, I think, with getting back into it. Here's the one thing that I loved. I don't know if you noticed this, and Kristen Neri joins us on the Andy Moore Automotive Group hotline. In that first half, first quarter, Pascal Siakam kind of gets caught not watching his man and ball watching a little bit, got beat on the baseline for a dunk with Trae Young with the delivery, little pocket pass. And Jenny Music on the sideline kind of jumped up and yelled out there, and you could see Siakam pointing at his own chest saying, yeah, that's on me. Those are the types of little things I really want to see this team defensively clean up. I thought that was a great example of it in preseason game 1.
Yeah, and I think, the really good thing about this group, John, they want to be better defensively. They understand for them to take the next step, and they got to the Final Four of the NBA last year, but they played the team that eventually won the title that sets the tone defensively. As good an offensive team as Boston is, it's the defense that sets them apart from other teams. So this group knows that they have to be better. Do they have to be great defensively? No, I don't think they have to be great, but they've got to be better, and that starts with accountability for yourself and your teammates. So, recognition that each of those guys has to get better is something that, just being around practice and talking to guys after practice, that's what they want to do. There's going to be slippage. I mean, these are world-class basketball players. It is hard to stop them, consistently, but you've got to do your best more often than not, and that's something that these guys are challenging themselves to do.
It's Kristen Neri, Valley Sports, Indiana. No game tonight. However, the rest of the way, preseason-wise, you say you got it covered, correct?
Yeah, we got you covered on Monday. Memphis in town. We'll be on the air at 7 o'clock. We don't have pregame shows or postgame shows in the preseason, so we go on the air at 7 o'clock on Monday, and then 7 o'clock next Thursday. We'll have both of those games for you.
Always good to hear from you, man. I love the fact that Hoop is back. That was the thing, too. I can't remember, Chris, the last time I had anticipated a preseason first game like I did the other night.
Well, just looking at the TV ratings on NBA TV, I think you were right there with a lot of people because it was one of the higher-rated preseason games that I've seen in my last, 10 years or so. So that was really, really good to see. People dialed in, and hopefully they'll be dialed in next week as well.
Glad you're back, buddy, man. We've missed you. You know that.
I know. I mean, I've been out in the yard all day long. It's so beautiful out, and I got to find my time here. It's going to get a little busy here, but I've had 107.5 on, and I'll be listening to your picks. 4 o'clock, right?
Oh, yeah.
Coming up here in about 15 minutes, and you were 10-8 last week? That's impressive.
No, I was 10 and 6, I think. 10 and 6 or 10 and 4. Yeah.
All right, we need to see a little bit better this week.
I'm making people money though. I'm above 500 on the season. Hell, I'm better than people have their own shows, and I'm better than they are. I don't even know what the hell I'm doing.
Well, I'll be listening, and have a great rest of the week.
All right, buddy.
And I'll be with you anytime you want.
Good to have you back, Chris. Thank you.
All right. Thanks, John.
It is Kristen Neri on the Andy Moore Automotive Group hotline. All right, quick break. We'll come back. The legendary Mousetrap, who's going to join us here. We love this place at 56 in Keystone. Just a little over 15 minutes away for our Week 6 Larceny Bourbon Locks, Luna Azul Tequila Shots. And you got to tell me if you're going to Nashville this weekend. Again, don't jack around and go, yeah, I'm going to go, and then not go. You got to be going, because if you're fortunate, I got a little something for you for being a great listener to the show. Also because I'm one hell of a swell guy. That's coming up on the other side. Mike Chappell in the 5 o'clock hour, who's practicing today, who isn't. Once again, we're talking about a week with the Colts that is an absolute mash unit. That discussion coming up next. 93.5, 107.5 The Fan.
The Ride with JMV.
You take drugs, Danny? Every day. Good. So what's the problem? I don't know.
93.5 and 107.5. The Fan.
Cocktails all around. I'm John. How you doing? Large City Bourbon Locks, Azul Tequila Shots. Brent Halverson rejoins us. This is Clayton Anderson right here. He's going to headline Everwise Amphitheater later on tonight. I'm going to go backstage. I don't know if that means I get to sing Blaming All My Roots. I showed up in boots. Ruin your black tie affair. Yeah, that's kind of how I sing it.
We should start our own band.
I sing it apprehensively, just like you just did. I don't know what's coming up next. Hey, by the way, Kevin, Matt, and my guy right there.
I just saw them outside.
They were ready to sample, right? That's what I heard.
Well, I'll tell you what. You go and talk to the lovely Nicole up there and tell her you'd like a Heaven Hill product, a complimentary product.
A sample.
A sample.
Mousetrap, 56 in Keystone. That was Clayton Anderson again tonight, Everwise Amphitheater. I know it's going to be for our first responders as well. And I will tell you, if I see any of our finest, our folks in blue down there, it's only occasionally that I turn right on red downtown against the rules. Only occasionally. I do it safely. Only occasionally, and I always turn left off of Market onto Capitol going south on red.
Ooh, okay.
Is that illegal too?
No.
I think
that's a one-way.
When I went with Cindy McNabb with Eastern Green driver's ed, I think that was viewed as okay. I think in Bloomington I always did that.
You can turn on red. Of
course, Bloomington, nobody knows how to drive there.
No.
Yeah, so I think I did. I think I turned. I think I went left on red onto Fee Lane once upon a time. I think. So,
hey,
I know I did it on Indiana once, right there by Stephen Barry's.
As long as you're doing it carefully and you said, not often, right?
I know it.
And there's nobody else around to see it, then you're fine.
Yeah, all right. Well, we're set up here. We got Large City Bourbon Locks, Luna Azul Tequila Shots brand coming up, right?
We absolutely do. And this lovely lady is bringing us some Elijah Craig Old Fashions that will kick off the 4 o'clock hour, coming right after this with Mr. Mike Cordo.
Awesome.
So we are kicking off Old Fashioned Week. Elijah Craig Old Fashioned Week officially starts tomorrow, but it starts today here at the Mousetrap. So if you want a stellar Old Fashioned, come down here and see us, and we'll get you a complimentary sampling, if you will.
If you're watching through the AAA membership lounge via YouTube Live, this is what it looks like right
Cheers.
Now. Cheers. Hey, cheers to everybody right here.
Right.
Like Dev's acting like he's not partaking. Did you notice that? He goes, I don't know. Get in that
just hold that for me there, Dev. That's just hold.
Quick break. We'll come back. 56 in Keystone, Week 6. Large City Bourbon Locks, Luna Azul Tequila Shots coming up. Mike Chappell in the 5 o'clock hour. Who practiced? Who sat today? That and more coming up. 93.5, 107.5, The Fan.
The Ride with JMV.
Sportos, motorheads, geeks, sluts, bloods, wastoids, dweebies, they all adore him. They think he's a righteous dude.
93.5 and 107.5. The Fan.
Oh, look at that.
Hey. Yeah, this little Billy right here. This little Dust in the Baggie.
Dust in the Baggie?
Yeah, come on now. To the point of no return. That's it. It's got me in.
I got a
Got me
hog
back
in
in
a
prison
barn.
once again. Come on, John.
I want to put hog in the barn.
Listen, just listen to this. My daddy got 20 long years for some dust in a baggie.
I left my hog out of the barn. I'm going to tell you what. It would not take me very long to write one hell of a song.
My God. I don't know who your crowd would be, but...
no, I mean, who would not? If you want a lyric with hog out of the barn.
You're letting your hog out of the barn. You're cleaning your dishes. I mean,
That's
I've heard
like
a couple...
double entendre right there,
It is
too.
a double... Yes, it is. It is double something.
Dev's the on-site engineer. Dev looks like he's like playing the John Rambo in First Blood right here. Did you notice that right here? Dev, when's the last time I watched First Blood? I gotta get Dev on camera right here. He looks like John Rambo over here, running around with Brian Dennehy chasing him through the forest. It's awesome. Yes. JMV, you should bring JMV with you tomorrow night. That's tomorrow night, is it?
Well, tomorrow and Saturday. That's from our good friend Kelly Eisenhower.
I can't do that. I love Ike.
Oh, yeah.
Ike's such a great
He's
guy.
such a good dude.
How many songs does Ike play of Billy Strang's?
4 that I think I know of. I think 4.
Well, there'll be...
It keeps growing. This dude is a human jukebox. I mean, he knows over 2,500, 3,000 songs. So his repertoire might contain some of the verbiage you've just been kicking out here.
Will there
freestyling.
be the partaking and the sticky and the icky inside Gamebridge Field?
Well, that cannot be confirmed nor denied, John. I don't know what people do, and it's called California Sober, which is a great song that Billy sings with Mr. Willie Nelson. California Sober, great tune.
I love Willie Nelson.
Speaking of the sticky and the icky, from what I hear.
Yeah, that's what. Yeah. Well, no, I don't think he would. Yeah, he would be out front with that like he normally is. That's Brent Halverson. Mike is here as well. Legendary Mousetrap 56th and Keystone. We'll get Mike to mount up right here as well. It's always tough to make these picks on a Thursday because you don't really know who is going to play on a Sunday. Unfortunately for the Colts, you kind of think who's not going to play on Sunday, and much like last week, it leaves you apprehensive. Did anybody go with the Colts last week?
Last week we had, I don't believe so. Where are we at here? Jags. Whitlow did.
Oh, did he?
Whitlow took the Colts.
Yeah.
I think that was more of a situational pick. I think he even mentioned.
It's just it is tough considering the availability of major guys.
It is tough.
There's just not a lot there.
And like you say, you don't really know until after Friday's practice. If they're not practicing Friday, that gives you a good inclination they're not going to play or they're going to play.
Right.
But we don't even find out a lot of times till 90 minutes before the game, as you all know. So that is tough. On Thursday, we're kind of in the dark on a lot. You know, if you look at a fantasy lineup right now, you've got a bunch of Qs by people.
Yeah.
Those are going to switch over to O's for out, or they're going to be playing. And again, you got to watch that practice, see if they practice today. But really, it comes down to tomorrow. They've got to log 2 practices in. So if they get a Friday and Saturday, Thursday and Friday, we can count on them. So we'll wait and see. There's a lot of them on the list. So I mean, it's wild. If you look at I've got one fantasy team, John. I'm in 6 leagues. I've got one that is a who's who of not playing, and it is my top 7 picks that are all on IR or they've been out for a couple weeks. Everyone, McCaffrey, Nakua, you name it, right? They're all these guys, and I've got zeros, right? And you can't drop them to pick somebody else up now that bye weeks have started because you've got all these guys that are great. They're going to be back. You can't let them go. So I just kind of had to shuffle and move a little bit and still hanging in there. But God, it's just tough.
It's Brent Halverson right there. Mike's going to join us coming up, too. Our Larceny Bourbon Locks and Luna Azul to keep the shots. 93.5, 107.5. The Fan is at the legendary Mousetrap today. By the way, Bullseye is having a pregame party. They always do with the Titans down in Nashville. If you're going down to Nashville, let me know. And I'm going to try to make you a winner over the course of the afternoon right here with bullseyeeventgroup.com. A pregame party, much like they have up here, which I think is down on the Cumberland River in Nashville prior to the Colts and the Titans coming up on Sunday. I'm going to try to make you a winner. I just made Dorothy a winner, I think, on social media, on X. And Coach somebody or other is going to take his son down there. Coach Kegley is going down there courtesy of us. So, yeah, if you're going, we're going to try and make you have a little bit of pregame fun down there. All right, you guys ready? Is Mike ready to go over there? Mike, are you mic'd up? Mike?
Yes, sir.
Yeah.
He is, and I believe we're going to have another special guest join us.
We are.
Troy, the general manager here, is going to join us.
Troy, you better hustle ass up here.
Troy, look at him.
Get that
he's
bag out of the
up here.
chair,
You see
and
that?
Troy, get ready, because we're good to go. Week number 6 of the NFL. Troy, mount up.
There he is.
There.
All right.
Hi, Troy, the general manager.
Hello.
Trying to figure out what he's going to do with his shades right there. I don't know if I should wear them, put them on my head, or just take them off in general. Looking for that sheet at the first time he's ever looked at that sheet right there. Look at it.
That is correct.
Soaking it up right there. Are we ready?
Hey, Mr. Cordo.
Yes.
Yes, sir.
Are you number one? Thank you guys for having us here.
Well,
I mean,
thanks
we
for being back.
absolutely love coming here. To the Mousetrap,
We got to introduce the general manager again too.
Troy is Troy. How long have you been working here at the Mousetrap?
I believe 20 or 21 years now.
21 years.
Yep.
That's awesome.
Yep.
Steering the ship in the right direction. These two guys right here. I mean, it's an honor to be here. Thank you guys for having us. And if you've not been to the Mousetrap, get in here, right?
Yes.
They have some of the best food you will ever have. They have the amazing cocktails. I mean, their back bar back there is awesome. The staff, Megan's back there making some wonderful old-fashions. So, Megan, thank you for the old-fashions.
I'm drinking that right now, too, by God.
It is Elijah Craig Old-Fashioned Week. We're starting it off right here, right now.
Yes, thank you, guys.
This runs for the next week.
Mike, everybody,
cheers.
we'll
Salute.
do it. Larceny Bourbon Locks, Luna Azul, Tequila Shots of the fellas, week number 6, James. Cue the band. We'll start tonight. 49ers and Seahawks. Man, Seattle was disappointing last week. I guess so were the 49ers, right? But I have been riding Arizona so far this season, so I felt good about that win out right over the Niners on the road, Thursday Night Football. And as of the time we got this sheet, 3.5-point favorites of the Niners. Lay the 3, Brent. Give me San Fran on the road in Seattle because they were so disappointing last week.
They were last week, and they have kind of been for the year, right? They're sitting at 2-3. They're under 500. They've got, we're talking injuries. I mean, of course, that's one of the biggest with Christian McCaffrey still out. We don't know if he's ever coming back. But I tell you what, I think that you had both these teams lose. You called that upset last week with Arizona. I think Seattle has a good chance of winning this game. But you know what? I think it's going to come down to a field goal one way or another. That being said, I'm going to take the Seattle Seahawks plus 3.5, 27-24. San Fran wins it, does not cover.
What do you got, Mike?
I got Seattle covered. They got a rookie coach, and they've got some offensive line problems. And being a Thursday night game kind of suggests that San Francisco is going to take this game.
What do you got over there, Troy, the general manager for 20 years?
I am taking San Francisco all day long on this one.
Right there with me,
San
buddy.
Fran minus 3.5. Got it.
Jaguars and Bears, 2-point favorites of the Bears at Soldier Field in Chicago. Jags are first win of the season against the Colts last week. The Bears just kind of muddling along a little bit. I'm going to lay that too. Give me the favorite Bears at home. Brett.
Yeah, this game's in London, right? So we get another kickoff early, which I love.
It is not in Soldier Field.
It is.
Come on now.
It is. And, that game last week that started the day off just right. So I actually love this game. Not really because it's going to be low scoring. But
yes.
Give me the Jacksonville Jaguars are kind of like the London Jaguars. There's a lot of Jaguar fans in London. Going to be a home game for Jacksonville. See this somewhat lower scoring, call it, little soft 40s, if you will. Jacksonville Jaguars, +2, they win 23-20.
What do you got in London, Mike, over there?
Oh, I got the Jaguars. They're a home team, and they're coming off a good win. They needed that win. I think they got some confidence, and Chicago's going to struggle.
Troy.
I'm going to go with Jacksonville. The Bears, I used to love them, but they just can't seem to get it done these days, so Jacksonville all day.
I feel like having a relationship with the Washington Commanders right now. That's how much in love with them I think I am.
Sports arousal at its finest.
Yeah, incredible sports arousal with the Commanders, the way they played so far. They're going to get 6.5 points on the road just up the Beltway, right? That's not in London or anything, right?
No, that is in Baltimore.
Yeah, Baltimore coming up. I want to make sure. I'm going to ride. My philosophy is ride the horse until it bucks you. Right? That's like 10 Cups philosophy, too, so I'm not the first one. That's not original. But, yeah, give me that 6.5 and give me the Commanders on the road. How about you, Brent?
You know, you nailed it. These are two great teams, right? Baltimore has really hit their stride. Baltimore the last couple of weeks has done me very well. I have a hard time going against them. However, that big, fat 6.5 hanging around is going to be kind of a thing there. Washington can hang. And I think Baltimore wins this game. I don't think they cover that 6.5. Give me Washington Commanders plus 6.5. I'll call it Baltimore wins 30-27.
Mike, are you talking to us?
I'm right there with Brent. I think Baltimore is going to hang in there. Washington will hang in there, but it'll be a field goal difference by the best kicker in the history of NFL.
20.
And Baltimore wins, Washington covers.
20-year vet as general manager Troy is here. Troy.
I'm going to say I'm going to like this game. I'm going to enjoy watching it, but I think Baltimore is just a little too tough, and I think they're going to run away with it in the end. It'll be close, but they got it.
Let me saddle up Arizona once again. I know Brent's going to feel really bad about this, but you're going to give me the Cardinals and 5 points on the road. It worked well for me last week, didn't it?
It did. Not so fast, my friend.
Razzle right there. Give me that 5 on the road in Green Bay. And give me the Cardinals. Brent.
Yeah, they did look good, but I don't think that's going to happen in Green Bay. They're going to come up to Lambeau. Jordan Love's back. The team's back. You got Romeo Doubs coming back off his sabbatical for a week. Had a
That's
little,
your heart, not your head, buddy.
I'm talking with my knowledge here, John. This is going to be one of my favorites right here. I think it's going to be a pretty good high-scoring game. I'm going to call this Green Bay wins it 30-20. It means they cover the 5. Go, Pack, go.
Yes, Mike.
Well, I grew up a Packer fan until I was 14, but Arizona's going to cover. No doubt about it.
Troy.
I got to give Brent this one. We're going to say Green Bay with the win.
There he is. Come on.
Yeah, former Bears fan, but I got to give you this one. I think they've got it.
Larceny Bourbon Locks, Luna Azul Tequila Shots, Week 6, Mousetrap 56 in Keystone. It's a legendary place. We'd love to see you, man. New England, way to screw me last week. Flipped a coin, took New England with the lock of the week.
Haven't they got you every week?
Yeah, dang.
Except
no.
week 1.
Week 1.
Week
man.
1, you pulled
like
that on.
Magic,
all right.
week 1 right there. That's what I'm going off of. It was that first timer right there. Houston are 6.5-point favorites on the road in Foxborough. I don't trust New England anymore. They're the 6.5. And give me the Texans. Brent?
Yeah, you got a quarterback change, right? The quarterback change there for the Patriots.
Make that change.
Mr. May is going to come in, start his rookie campaign. I don't think it's going to be enough. Those rookie quarterbacks come in this whole different league out there. It's a whole different style of play. New England's pretty battered. I think Houston's going to come in and get this one done. I think they win by at least a touchdown. That means they cover the 6.5. Give me Houston, lay the 6.5, 24-17 over the Pats.
And by the way, here at the Mousetrap, you can get batter fried. Is that you batter fry stuff here, don't you, son?
All fresh.
Hey, when he said battered, I was going to go ahead and.
Yeah.
I was trying to work that in.
Batter
right there.
breading is,
You like it? Batter fried. I just tried to work it in, Mike. I know it didn't make a hell of a lot of sense. I know.
When you're talking about NFL players.
Batter fried.
Right.
Yeah. I was going to say cod. You guys have cod?
We do.
Yeah.
See, I told you.
Look at that. You got it all.
I know exactly.
You got it
what
all.
this
We eat
place
that with
is.
your cottage cheese and tuna fish. So where's that fit in?
God dang it! I'll just shut up and let Mike make his pick. I stink. Go ahead, Mike.
Oh, where are we? Oh, the Texans are going to cover. 6.5 is not enough.
Yeah.
Patriots are a mess. It's too bad it's not in the cold weather. They might have a chance, but it's warm enough, and Houston's going to smoke them.
Troy.
I agree completely. Patriots have been garbage all season, and I don't see it turning around this week.
All right, 3-point favorites on the road. Buccaneers and the Saints. The Saints have been rather disappointing. A dinged-up quarterback situation. Some questions, certainly. Yeah, after that matchup in KC, I'm going to go ahead and lay the 3. Give me the Buccaneers on the road. Brent.
Yeah, that with that game. Oblique injury? Right? Isn't that what Derek Carr? He's an oblique injury, a couple weeks.
Anthony Richardson has too, but he looks spry today.
He's spry. He's spry. A couple weeks out, so that's what I think they're saying. Derek Carr's out. I think without Derek Carr, even though they the first 2 weeks they were just explosive, dropping 40 bombs all over the place. Last 3 they haven't done a whole lot. I actually, this is probably my favorite game to bet on of the week. So I'm going to go ahead and make this my larceny lock of the week. Take the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, Baker Mayfield, to cover that 3, but they win at 24-17.
Go ahead, Mike.
So Spencer Rattler's the quarterback for the Saints this week.
I believe
right?
so, yes.
Yeah.
Yep.
So he took him 5 colleges to get there. I have a feeling the Tampa's going to really take advantage of that. And unless they have a big letdown from last week's game, they're going to take care of that spread as well.
Troy.
All right.
I'm going to disappoint some people in the bar right now, going against New Orleans. But yeah, I think the Bucs got this one, especially with Florida proud trying to recover. I think they're gonna knock this one out of the park.
Larceny Bourbon Locks, Luna Azul Tequila Shots, Week 6 at the Mousetrap. Man, the Browns are an absolute disaster. Worst trade of all time. Going nowhere but down fast. 9.5. See, I don't even think I put a mark. 9.5 is a big damn number right here.
It is a big damn number, John.
It is a big damn number. Right?
Highest number on the board.
I'm going to go still. I'm going to take the Eagles at home. I don't trust that at all. Can't trust it. But 9.5, lay it. Give me the Eagles at home.
Yeah, Cleveland's a dumpster fire. I mean, honestly, a dumpster fire like we talked earlier. I think you're going to see Amari Cooper. He's going to get moved before the trade deadline. Deshaun Watson's getting a massage somewhere. He's going to be busy, paying some more money out of there. I don't think they have it. Plus, you got an Eagles team that's coming back off a bye.
Yeah.
They've got their receivers back. They've got a healthy team out there. I think Philly's going to go out there and destroy them. I'm going to say definitely cover that 9.5. Call it Philly 31-20 over the Browns.
What do you got over there, Mike?
I think the Eagles are going to cover, but both these teams are in a big spot right now. If Cleveland looks like they've given up completely, Philadelphia could give up if they were to get beat by Cleveland. And if Chubb comes back this week, that could make a difference. So there's a lot of variance right there. I still have Philadelphia because it's at home, and those people are pissed because of the Phillies loss. So it's not going to be a friendly environment.
Mike had me at Chubb's come back. Go ahead, Troy. What do you got?
No, I think this is going to be a good one, but a big loser for Cleveland. I can't get behind anything they do. And if they can cover the 42.5, I'll be very surprised.
Man, Chargers on the road, 3-point favorites at Denver. I'm going to go ahead and take that 3. Give me the Broncos at home, Brent.
Yeah, the Broncos, I mean, they're kind of silently doing some stuff here, right? They're sitting at 3-2 and playing the Charger team 2-2. I think it's going to be a great game, but the right in this spot right here, it's a field goal. You got the away team is favored. I think that's a Harbaugh effect. I like Denver Broncos to not only cover, I like the Denver Broncos to win the game 20-17. Give me Denver +3.
Hello, Mike.
I've got the Chargers all day.
What do you got? Yeah, straight to the point, Troy. Go ahead.
I think this one could be one of the closer matchups of the week, but I think the Chargers have it in the long run.
Aiden O'Connell gets to start for the Raiders. Steelers on the road in Vegas, 3-point favorites. Good Lord Almighty. I'm going to lay the 3. Give me the Steelers on the road. Shout out to Aiden O'Connell, the former Boilermaker quarterback. But give me the Steelers. What do you got, Brent?
Speaking of dumpster fires, we're going to talk another dumpster fire, and that is the Las Vegas Raiders. They are a true dumpster fire. You know, Mike and I were talking a little Devontae Adams, which I did see somewhere. Mike, we were talking a little bit. I saw like 48 hours he might have a new team, but you had some good spots, and when you come around the pick, tell us a little bit about that. I think, but him being gone really kind of takes that out. You got a Mattison in the backfield. I mean, he's kind of stepping in a little bit. Aiden O'Connell now as quarterback. I don't think they have what it takes. Pittsburgh did cost me a little bit last week against Dallas on that 4th down. They gave up that loss. But I think Pittsburgh gets this one done. 23-17. Lay the 3. Steelers.
Mike, I think the Steelers are going to barely cover it and win the game and the spread. It's kind of crazy. 2 weeks in a row to the classic 70s matchups. The Steelers-Cowboys last week and then Steelers-Raiders this week. But Steelers are going to pull this one off.
Troy.
I've got the Steelers. I think the Raiders are probably going to have some embarrassing plays like they always do. And also, speaking of Pittsburgh, I've got them losing against the opening night of the Detroit Red Wings this evening.
Hockey fan, by the way.
No doubt about that. Larceny Bourbon Locks, Luna Azul Tequila Shots, Week 6 at the Mousetrap. Atlanta, this is not a standalone. However, am going to lay the 6 points, I believe they have on the road at Carolina. Give me the Falcons against the Panthers. Brent.
No Falcon way. I actually, you know what? I mean, this game here, I love that home dog every now and then, but I can't get behind the Carolina Panthers. This is going to be our 3rd dumpster fire we're talking about. They just keep going the wrong way. I think Atlanta, you saw we talked earlier what Kirk Cousins did last week. 52 pass attempts, 509 yards, 4 tutties, and he's got that little swagger going on. He's dancing for the crowd. He's going to get out there, and they're going to do it again. Give me the Falcons. Lay the 6, 30-20 over the Panthers.
Mike?
6 points is not enough. Atlanta's going to win easily.
Got over that, Troy.
Yes, I think Atlanta's got this one by a long shot. And got to give it to my brother down in Atlanta area. So we're going with them.
I'm going to lock this one up right here. Can we lock this up? Larceny Bourbon lock. I can't believe I'm doing this right now. Who would trust the Cowboys but me? You got everything going on in the Dallas Metroplex. You got the Red River Shootout going on at the Cotton Bowl. You got Dallas and the Lions coming up this weekend as well. I'm going to go ahead and take that 3 points and give me Dallas at home and the upset and lock it down against the Lions. Brett.
I finally agree with you. One of your larceny locks, John. I'm with you on that one, man. I'm with you. You know that again. I just mentioned earlier they cost me a little bit with that fourth down with seconds to go. They won that game against Pittsburgh. I think Dallas. I think it's going to be a close game, but ultimately that's 3 points, right? I'm +3, a home team, home dog. Detroit's strong. We know it. This will be a big, high-scoring affair. I would believe. I'm going to say Detroit wins it 28-27. That means Dallas covers. Dallas +3.
Mike.
Somehow I'm picking Dallas to cover and win. I don't know why. It kills me, but I do.
I don't know why from Mike. That makes perfectly good sense right there.
Well, that's kind of how they run the Cowboys, right?
That is, yeah. Right.
It does make perfectly good sense. Troy, what do you got over there, buddy?
I've got Detroit on this one. I mean, the Cowboys couldn't sell as many jerseys in a single year as Caitlin Clark sold in one day, so I just cannot get behind
Caitlin Clark working right here. Larceny Bourbon Locks, Luna Azul Tequila Shots. This one for Swebo. Hey, James, send out a flare on the east side for Swebo. His team, the Giants. I think that's kind of dorky. It's weird, really. But his team is the Giants. Giants at home versus the Bengals. They're going to get at home 3.5 points. Man, I don't trust the Bengals to do anything like that on the road. I'm going to go ahead and take the Giants and that 3.5. And that, Brent's just a smidge away from what I would have locked up in honor of our good friend of the morning wake-up call, Swebo.
Swebo. I like the call. I like it.
Andy Sweeney in his hat and his red beard and his sweatpants. What do you got, Brent?
Hey, I like all that, John. I am with you on this. This is one game, though, that, again, we talk about picking these games on a Thursday. A lot to be known in this game right here. I need to know about Malik Neighbors if he's playing. Again, they did it last week without him. Singletary, all the guys in the back. But I like it as well. That half point.
The Bengals aren't flexing on anybody. Let's just say they're not.
Burrow has looked great. Burrow has looked great. He's putting up some serious yardage, some touchdowns. They're at 1-4 though. They're not playing that well. I'm going to take the home dog here, +3.5. I think Bengals win it by 1, 27-26. Give me the Giants +3.5.
Mike.
I'm going with the Bengals. The one thing that can fix a bad defense is Daniel Jones.
That's a good point.
He can't
That's
do that.
a good point.
No doubt. Troy, what do you got over there, Mr. Caitlin Clark?
I am going against the grain on this one. I am going to go for the Giants. I think it's going to be a close one. And this is my one upset I expect to see this weekend.
Man, the Bills have just hosed me. They've used me up and thrown me away, left me in the trash and the garbage, thought nothing of me with my confidence in them here recently. 2-point favorites on the road against the Jets. Of course, the Jets make a major coaching move earlier in the week. I'm going to lay the 2 and go with the Bills because, as they say, it still ain't working with the Jets. Brent.
It's going to be interesting to see what happens with the Jets now with Salah gone. We got Nathaniel Hackett has been relieved of his play calling duties too. So that'll be interesting to watch as well.
I thought that was Rodgers' buddy. Don't they?
It was. They are buddies. So
Todd
originally,
Downing, I believe, is getting the call now.
I kind of thought Rodgers might have a little bit of say, and there was just some pushback with what was going on. We've seen all that in the media.
You know that dude was mouthy in there.
Of course he is, man. But the Bills. Both these teams are off 2 losses. Somebody's got to win the game. Bills are a 2-point favorite. I'm going to go ahead and take Buffalo. They win this one by a field goal, 23-20. Bills.
That's Mike over there.
I agree the Buffalo's going to win. This is a huge game for both. I think if the Jets win, and Brent was saying earlier about the 48 hours window, maybe Devontae Adams being picked up. But if that doesn't work out, the Jets lose this game, I think they're out of the bidding. Whereas the Bills lose it, they're more into the bidding. So I think if the Jets were to win, both those teams are bidding a second rounder for Devontae Adams.
A lot of bidding going on right there,
Mike.
I like the analogy.
Well, I'm going to pick the Bills because I do not like Aaron Rodgers, being a former Packer fan.
I'm going to tell you what, Todd right here, because you guys have great chicken salad, is going to make chicken salad out of that analogy right here. Do it, Todd.
Troy.
Todd, you mean Troy?
Troy, Todd.
Todd's the guy way back there in the corner.
Todd's back there.
Todd later.
Did you say you mean Troy?
Yeah, that's okay. I respond anyway.
Todd, Troy. Whatever your name is.
You got 2 of the letters right.
20 years, Todd. That's what happens when you think
this
way
one,
too long.
I think we're talking 3 touchdowns a team, and it's going to come down to the last second. I'm Bills all the way.
Todd,
Bills?
what do you think back there?
I don't know. It doesn't matter at this point. You
I
can't
just
get
wanted
the
to
name
prop
right.
up your chicken salad, and I just completely screwed that one up right there. My bad. All right. The Colts, I so want to take them because this is a big moment in the season. It is. On the schedule, you got to take advantage of it. They certainly haven't. November is going to be an absolute monster schedule-wise. But with what we know right now, injury-wise, I cannot do it. Down in Nashville coming up on Sunday, the Titans 2.5-point favorites. I'm going to lay the 2.5 and take the Titans because ineffectiveness, lack of execution, downright bad defense, and the lack of important bodies on the field just way too overwhelming for me, Brent. Give me 23-20, the Titans in Nashville.
I'm going to parlay off of everything you just said because everything you mentioned, the lack of defense, everything all down that road.
Too.
Then we're also going to couple the Titans coming off a bye week, and they're going to play tougher at home against the Colts, of course. I think Tennessee wins this game. Call it 24-20, but again, wait to find out who's quarterback, who's running back, who's playing, right? We won't know a lot of that. We got some unanswered questions, but give me the Titans. They win it 24-20.
Mike?
You know I want the Colts, but if Flacco's winning, I pick the Colts. If not, I pick the Titans.
What do you got over there, Troy Todd?
Yeah, whatever it is.
Chicken salad.
Yeah, Jen would hate me on this one, but I got to say Colts are losing this. Yeah.
Tennessee?
You're not.
Yeah.
Man,
Yeah.
you can't, with the way that we're picking today, knowing what we know, it's logical. It's reasonable to do that.
It really
Which is what we did last week. Hey, by the way, you guys want to come back here in the 6 o'clock hour? We got a little extra time after 6. So why don't we come back?
I'll be gone.
Well, you will not.
I will. I've got to get
Well, how
to volleyball.
about you guys want to come back and talk about some stuff that's going on this weekend and stuff in the 6 o'clock hour?
Yeah,
Why
let's
don't you
do it.
that? Yeah, why don't you do that?
For sure.
Yeah.
I know. I forgot about the volleyball update we had a little bit earlier.
to, man.
Brought you Express Pro Tire and Auto with
Joe
that,
Childers,
yeah,
yes.
Joe Childers right
All right.
there. Yeah, guys, come back at the 6 o'clock hour. Cool with it?
Yes.
Troy, I'll get your
We're here.
name right, Troy. I promise.
Yeah, you can try.
I was thinking about Todd, who was back there, who needs a drink too. So, yeah. Thanks, guys. Appreciate that.
Appreciate
Long
it.
Steve Bubba Locks, Luna Azul, Tequila Shots, Brent Halverson rejoins Mike Chappell, top of the hour. We'll get down to business with some of those injury concerns, certainly. Pacers on the road tonight, preseason game 2, 6:30, pregame show right here, and a couple of baseball game closeout opportunities in Detroit with the Guardians and the Tigers, and KC with the Yankees and the Royals. That conversation coming up as well. Don't go anywhere. It's 93.5, 107.5 The Fan.
93.5 and 107.5. The Fan.
Oh, I love people. I love the Mousetrap. Love people. Love the Mousetrap. Legendary Mousetrap. 56th and Keystone. James sending me back with Huey Lewis in the news right here. Brent Halverson is our betting analyst from Heaven Hill Distillery. I'm John. Dev looks like John Rambo over there right now, too. We got the gang all here. Tomorrow's Bud Light Blue Friday at Gigi's Bar and Grill. Coming back at you. Hey, look here. You know, Todd Meyer, who's our executive producer, kind of looks like he's an undercover cop walking.
Yeah, I was getting ready to, like,
No,
6 up.
Hey, listen, Todd Meyer's walking into place, and he looked like an undercover cop walking in.
Hi, Todd.
Is that excise out in the parking lot? I love Todd Meyer right there. Well, that walk-up from Todd Meyer is awesome. Larceny Bourbon Locks and Luna's Dual Tequila Shots, Week 6. There are a couple on that, especially with the big number with the Eagles that stand out to me that I'm going to regret coming up on Monday. How about you?
You know what? Yes, there always are a couple that are going to stand out to you. You know, the spreads are that's the wild card, right? I mean, we've seen a lot of those big favorites that haven't been covering, let alone winning the games this year. It's been a very off year. I was talking to somebody yesterday about Survivor leagues, right? Like where you pick a team each week and then you can't use them again the rest of the year. Most Survivor leagues were done. You know, if you're talking like the smaller local leagues of 25, 50, 75 people, we're done after week 2 or 3. Now the big dog leagues are all following. You look last week, you have a Seattle that loses at home against a depleted Giants team outright that costs a lot of people. A lot of those 7-point, and again, 6.5 to 8-point favorites, not only are they not covering, John, they're not winning the game. So, you know, that's the biggest line I think we've had yet this year at 9.5 with Philly. But I think this is that's just over that 8-point line. I think this is where they turn it on. They soar, fly, Eagles fly.
Yeah, and Cleveland's such an absolute mess.
They're a dumpster fire. Yeah, absolutely.
Makes sense. But the thing that sticks out, it's not like that this is Kansas City. Philly hasn't really played that well. They've been up and down.
They haven't, but they've been out without key weapons, right?
Yeah, A.J. Brown's been out.
A.J.
Yes.
Brown, Devontae Smith. I mean, those are two big guys on the outside. You need to have those guys. Saquon's looked great. Jalen Hurts hasn't looked that great to me. But again, they're coming off a bye week. They've got their weapons back. I think this is where they're going to kind of open it up. But again, that's why they say any given Sunday, you just never know.
Veterans Day on the River, we shall explain to you coming up from one of our proud veterans in the place here at the Mousetrap a little bit earlier. We'll explain that coming up. Mike Chappell at the top of the hour. I saw where Ian Rappaport had mentioned that through practice today, Anthony Richardson was in full participation and is in line to start coming up on Sunday down in Nashville. So that was from Ian Rappaport of the NFL Network a little bit earlier today.
Did he use the term looking spry?
He did not say looking spry like our Kevin Bowen did, but spry
Kevin's
enough,
cutting edge,
according to KB. To where Anthony Richardson is in line to start for the Colts coming up on Sunday. Meantime, 239-1070. Some calls, and Jeremy's going to start the show out right here in the 4 o'clock hour. Hello, Jeremy. How are you?
Hello, JMV. How are you guys doing?
Well, if you can tell by the sound, we're having an absolute blast here at 56th and Keystone at the Mousetrap. How about you?
I'm doing great. What about those Hoosiers? 6-0, baby. Headed to the one of the bowl games.
Got a bye week this week, and then, Jeremy, hold tight really quick. I'm going to let Brent talk up their matchup on the 19th. More next week on that when we're at a different location. But that matchup, Brent, with Nebraska coming up next week, that is the schedule you're looking at right there that's conducive to get some work done the remainder of the season, too.
It really is. And, man, how about those Hoosiers? They're averaging 44 points a game. I think they're 5-1 against the spread. They're 6-0 straight up. This is going to be a big challenge, but this game is in Bloomington.
Yeah.
And it's going to be, those fans are showing up. It's exciting to see Indiana football doing what it's doing. And I tell you, they've got a squad. I mean, they're just going after it. I was watching that game against Northwestern. Started a little bit slow, and then all of a sudden they just turned on the gas. They ended up scoring, 41-24 final?
Yeah.
Indiana Hoosiers, they're looking great, my friend. What are you thinking about them?
Jeremy, what are we thinking here?
I am so happy. I can't believe it. I'm totally going shock over at JMB. And
Well,
next
I'm
weekend
glad-
is also homecoming, by the way.
You enjoy that and check back in with us, especially after the Nebraska game. Okay, buddy?
Take care, JMB. Take care, guys. Bye-bye.
That is
See you,
Jeremy. I want to say that is Jeremy. It's interesting about Jeremy. Was a tremendous listener when I first started out in radio in Bloomington at B97. And I probably hadn't heard from him in 20 plus years. And then last week he called the JMV Takeover for the first time in over 20 years. He was he's probably the best listener that B97 in Bloomington has ever had.
That's awesome.
And it's very early stages of
Do
my
you
career.
think it's coincidence, John? Because IU 6-0, and he's got a little pump in the step now, a little hop going on.
Well, when you think
Love
about it,
Jeremy.
too, you mentioned they have 2 road games remaining at Michigan State and Ohio State. You know, obviously Ohio State's going to be on the 23rd, incredibly difficult, but Michigan State's doable. All the games they have on their schedule, and I guess you could argue Ohio State is not, but Michigan, I think at home is doable. They've got a lot of what I would describe as doable games.
They really
down
do.
the stretch to get something significant done this year.
I think this Nebraska game is really going to be a good challenge to start this whole upcoming weeks that we're looking at, right? Washington, Michigan State. I watched Michigan State game there. They're horrible. Michigan, though. Michigan, our good friend Rome, he loves Michigan. They don't look like the Michigan of old. They're 24th in the nation. I don't know that. That Ohio State game, though, man, that is going to be the game that if IU can somehow, John, get through this little gauntlet, Nebraska, Washington, Michigan State, Michigan, and they come into this game at 10-0 against Ohio State, that is going to be a doozy. Now, that is in Columbus, though. That is going to be a tough game.
Yeah.
But, man, how cool would that be? I love what the program's done. I love what they're doing. The fans are back. You used to be able to go to an IU football game, and you could sit anywhere you wanted to sit. Now it's full. They're filling up. Their fans are back out. Just takes a nice little ranking, little 18-spot ranking for them, and a 6-0 record, and it gets them back. But hey, stick with them. Bring these Hoosiers home.
More than anything else, I love that the all-time, the most big-time IU football fan that have had season tickets through all that bad, and what they're getting to go through right now, this enjoyment.
Oh, yeah.
That's pretty cool.
Our good friend Rob Lauer from Live Nation and
Rob Lauer, I love Rob
He's a big IU guy. He's over there. I mean, he's got to be living the life. I wish.
Does Rob Lauer still do the PA stuff down there, too?
I don't know if he does. I know he did. I don't know that he is still doing that.
Lauer hired me. My first job
You
here in
did tell
Indy.
me that, yes.
Rob Lauer hired me for my first job here in Indy.
That's awesome.
And a lot of people out there are going, way to go, Lauer. I don't like you at all. Way
Who
to
is
go,
this?
crank.
Yeah.
No, I've long time been a friend of Rob Lauer, and certainly, no, it is. I think about Bill Benner, for example, all the time. Bill Benner, the former the Indy Star columnist, long time, who has been a huge IU football fan. All the season ticket holders through thick or thin. Bob Kaiser, who's got an IU bus, who is a friend of the show. All these people. Our friend Greg here at Mount Vernon's a big-time IU football supporter as well. I mean, it's all kind of paying off for them so far this year.
It is.
Cool
It's fun to watch, right?
Yeah.
I mean, it's not something we've been used to talking about. We talk IU basketball all the time.
Yeah.
But IU football, it's for real. I mean, it is. And the thing that I love, John, is they don't let off the gas, right? They push that pedal down and they go. Put some points up. They're averaging 44 points a game through 6 games. I mean, it's astonishing. And then I was talking this game last week. They were there was I forget what it was, but it was nothing. It was kind of like 17-10 or something. And then all of a sudden, into the third quarter, fourth quarter, they stepped on the gas pedal, put up 41. I love it.
Yeah.
High-flying Hoosiers, baby. High-flying Hoosiers.
Thank you, Jeremy, for the call, and a shout-out to our friend Matthew, formerly of Maine and now on the South Side, who is celebrating a birthday today. Awesome listener, P1, listener to this show, to all of our shows on The Fan. and to the JMV takeover as well. Matthew, our friend, is celebrating a birthday today. Where's Michelle? Think she's going? She's not leaving.
You know what?
I guess she can't.
She is bringing me another Elijah Craig Old Fashioned. Isn't she awesome?
Brent rejoins on the other side. Mike Chappell, top of the hour. Anthony Richardson in line today with his practice participation and starting on Sunday. That and more with Mike at the top of the hour. Brent rejoins as well with the legendary Mousetrap 56 and Keystone 93.5, 107.5 The Fan.
The cream, yeah. The cream of the crop. And there is no one that does it better.
93.5 and 107.5. The Fan.
Shout out if you're watching via the AAA Membership Lounge YouTube Live. This is a great drink right here. Chakola, Cow Power. Who drank Chakola back in the day? Go ahead, Kendall. Get that right here. Shout out to ELO, which is our re-entry right here, courtesy of James back at the studio. Chakola actually has been brought back around here as well. And we got a lot of stuff to get to. Of course, Mike Chappell, top of the hour. Anthony Richardson in line to start coming up on Sunday down in Nashville. That was the story of Larceny Bourbon Locks and Luna Azul Tequila Shots a little bit earlier, week number 6. Mousetrap, 56 in Keystone. How long has Chakola been back here? This is, and if you're watching again via the AAA Membership Lounge via YouTube Live, we all drank this, and we all love this. When did you bring this back?
We've actually started bringing it back in January of this year is our first time. It was off the market for about 10 years.
Was it really? Wow.
It was first made in Beech Grove in 1944.
Is that right?
Wow. Yeah, all things are made. All things were created in Beech Grove.
Well, I've heard that, John, but
I love Beech Grove. So I grew up in Owensburg, Indiana. 250 people, had a general store called Lehman's, and always had this in their Coca-Cola cooler on hand. By the bottle load. Awesome. Always go to.
That little 9-ounce glass bottle.
That 9-ounce glass bottle.
That's what I remember, too.
Exactly. And you could see the chocolate that kind of fell down, and you have to shake it up, right?
That's still a part of our.
Are we shaking this up too?
Shake it like crazy.
Hey, it's awesome, John. So number one, wow! I just got me a pull of that. That's outstanding. I mean, I remember these so well.
Right.
But what I just did. So Dave Hunter, we've been in the liquor industry for a long time together.
Sure have.
So this is your new baby, right? This is your game. So what I've got Megan doing back there, she's taking a little Evan Williams Cherry bourbon. And she's going to make us some Evan Cherry Chakola shots that she's going to bring us up here in just a second. So we've got to mix our pastime, right, within the spirits industry with Dave's new pastime here with Chakola. I'm just anxious to see and try it.
Seems like old times right there.
It really does.
As soon as you taste it, well, we like to say we don't sell chocolate milk, we sell memories.
Yeah, it turns back the clock immediately right there. Everybody around here. And see, the East Coast, it was all about you on the East Coast, but around here, it was always about Chakola.
Well, I just told John, I hadn't had a you forever. I had one not too long ago. I forgot how good this is. I mean, both of it. Wow.
Yep.
I mean, it's awesome.
How can people get that?
Well, we're probably in a couple hundred retail stores. We're working on the big grocery store now. We hope to be in there before Christmas.
Oh, that's awesome.
So
keep us updated.
Good job.
Thanks for the shirt, too.
Thank you very much.
I was
Thanks,
rocking
Dave.
a shirt of my own the other day, too, just doing a video. But, man, thank you very much.
You're very welcome.
Everybody, it is back officially. Chakola, Cow Power. If you loved it as a kid, you will absolutely love that as an adult. Brent rejoins Mike Chappell, top of the hour, Mousetrap, Larceny Bourbon Locks, Luna Azul Tequila Shots on a Thursday with 93.5, 107.5 The Fan.
The Ride with JMV.
Excuse me, Robo. Any special message for all the kids watching at home?
Stay out of trouble. 93.5 and 107.5. The Fan.
What a great time it is. 56 in Keystone, the legendary Mousetrap. Bud Light Blue Friday tomorrow. Another great place. 71st and Benford's our location for Gigi's Bar and Grill. You guys are asking me if Lindsay and Gina will be there. I'm not sure. I think both will be at the Clayton Anderson show at Everwise tonight, so I guess I'll have to ask them. Last week we had Lindsay, no Gina. I don't know if we're going to get them both coming up tomorrow, but I know especially all you dudes out there are digging if they show up, so hopefully they do. Bud Light Blue Friday tomorrow, Gigi's Bar and Grill with us. Shout out to Chakola right here. I did not know that originally it was produced way back in Beach Grove, but they are bringing it back. The original formula right here, and Dave, thank you for that as well. Our Larceny Bourbon Locks, Luna's Old Tequila Shots for week number 6. Me, Brett Halverson, who will rejoin. Dave and Troy also coming back with us in a bit. By the way, too, I'll look for you tonight. If you're heading down to Everwise, you got Clayton Anderson headlining this evening down there, so I'll look for you down there as well. It should be an absolute blast. A couple closeout opportunities in divisional round series in baseball. You get Detroit with that chance at home against Cleveland tonight, just a little bit after 6. Later on this evening, the Yankees on the road with an opportunity to close and move on to the American League Championship Series. They have a closeout chance against Kansas City and KC. Later on this evening, Thursday night football should be a fun one for you as well, with the Niners and the Seahawks. BullseyeEventGroup.com. I've been trying to find out if you're going down to Nashville for the game coming up on Sunday. If you are, let me know. I'll try to make you a fortunate winner to go to the Bullseye Center down there, which is what they do for the Titans VIP tailgate for you. So listen to win for that opportunity coming up. And on the Andy Moore Automotive Group hotline from CBS 4 and Fox 59, Mike Chappell joins us. We're hearing across the board right now on social media that Anthony Richardson is trending in the right direction to start in Nashville on Sunday. Mike, is that accurate?
Well, he was full practice today. When we talked to the guys on Wednesday, we asked Flacco about how you're approaching the week, the same as last week. He said, well, yeah, but things might be a little bit different. That was an indication that Richardson was going to take first-team reps, which he did not do last week at all. And we talked to Richardson, and he said, I'm feeling way better than I did last week. And I said, well, are you at the point that you can actually, play the position that you've got to, as dumb as it sounds, can you do what you've got to do? And he said, yeah, I can throw, I can run all the plays on our offense. So I kind of got the impression that even though he was limited yesterday, that he was well on his way to starting this week, and that's really encouraging. And because then the rest of the injury report is kind of concerning. I mean, you probably get Kelly back, you're probably going to get Quiddy Pay back, Braden Smith, Kenny Moore. We'll see. Practice yesterday, not today. And the receivers, I mean, with Michael Pittman being out for a while, and you need to see Josh Downs practice tomorrow. I'll feel a lot better. But it's always good. No disrespect to Joe Flacco. It's always great to get your quarterback back when your quarterback needs to play.
So Mike Chappell of CBS 4 and Fox 59. We talked about Michael Pittman Jr. yesterday when that news broke. At what point in the game last week did that occur, or was that just kind of an ongoing situation? What do you know?
It's a good question. We didn't talk to Pitt today. I talked to him yesterday, Wednesday, just casually, and no indication, just before we knew of his status. And apparently after the game, he told reporters that he was going to get an MRI on his back, so it was bothering him. But, gosh, he played 88% of the plays, which is in line with what he does. So it wasn't to the point that he couldn't play in the game. Now, whether this was a certain hit, whether it was attrition, I don't know. He missed one practice this week, or this season, a couple of weeks ago, and he was listed as didn't practice with back and I think it was a calf. So whether this has been something bothering him, all I know is he's played. He's played almost 90% of the snaps all season. So this has to be something that's bothering him, or he plays. I mean, this guy is as tough as it gets, and he plays. So hopefully it's a couple of weeks. I was told that they don't think it's 4 weeks. If it's 4 weeks, you put him on IR. They don't think it's going to be that. We'll know better tomorrow. They can come out tomorrow and put him on IR just to be safe, or they think it could be 4 weeks. But yeah, it's not ideal. You get one guy back and you lose somebody. Taylor not practicing today. I no longer try to draw anything from his Thursday interviews, because you just don't know until he practices. I mean, how do you expect Taylor to play? So maybe he practices tomorrow. I don't know.
Yeah, it seems like across the board, it's just too much for this team to overcome, especially, Mike, with the defense playing as badly as it has. And even with the missing bodies, and I think the plan is getting guys back coming up this week, they still haven't been good even with those guys there.
No, and again, they've missed 12 or 13 players. I mean, top-end players. And we can argue about, and I still think they should have had a better backup running back. I just do. They should have added a veteran corner, because they need that. But the injuries on the defensive line, I don't want to hear that Ballard didn't give them enough depth on the defensive line. He did. You just can't expect to lose, 4 top-end guys and have enough people to support that. So there's reason for criticism. The defensive line is not one of them, but they've not played well defensively all season. They've had little patches here and there with the Bears. Against Caleb Williams, they played okay. Pittsburgh, they played, well enough at times. But they're giving up 419 yards a game. That's just crazy. That's going to be – right now, that's the second most a Colts defense has ever given up by average. So it's really making it difficult. And they just need to make an occasional stop. As bad as they played top to bottom in Jacksonville, if they make a stop on that last series, then who knows what happens in overtime. But they couldn't. They get in position for a long field goal, but they that's what today's NFL is making long field goals. So yeah, this defense, I don't know where to say it's not playing well, but this is why it's going to get better. Buckner's got another game or two to miss, and Tyquan's done for probably a month or 2 months or whatever. So, and Juju Brents, who knows? Kenson Ebicon, who knows? These are the guys that have to do it, and the missed tackles are just killing them. Pro Football Reference, if you trust Pro Football Reference, had him for 16 missed tackles in Jacksonville. That's ridiculous. So, if you're not playing well and then you have missed tackles, you're going to give up tons of yards. And every week it's somebody having a career day or a best game in a while. You just can't sustain that. And does it get better this week? I'd hate to see Will Levis go out there and light them up. That would not be good at all for the defensive folks, players, staff. Something's got to change.
So Mike Chappell of CBS 4 and Fox 59. Obviously, Dallas Flowers on Monday was cut loose. I don't know what you think about this, but so far it looks like he's been a bit of a bad playing scapegoat. To me, that sets a precedent. I don't know how in the world you don't end up getting rid of Gus Bradley if this defense continues to play at this level. I don't care if guys are injured or not, because there hasn't been that much of a difference between the healthy guys in there and the backup guys being in there. And if you're going to make a scapegoat out of a dude that you loved, if you're Chris Ballard in April, if you remember, and clearly that's no longer the case earlier this week. I don't know how you don't ultimately put the defensive coordinator on the hook for this mess at some point during the season. Would you agree?
And if this continues, maybe so. I'm not wired like a lot of guys where I'm calling for guys to be fired. I've never liked that aspect of our jobs. I mean, and everybody's different. Guys have written about it. I don't like to go there, and that's one of my character flaws. But at the same time, if you're holding Dallas Flowers' feet to the fire on a play that cost you a touchdown, and I guess that's on him. It looked like there was some miscommunication on who should follow the guy, whatever else. But he also was coming off of an Achilles injury, so he wasn't, where he should be. But yeah, if you're going to hold players accountable for obvious plays, then where does it stop? So I think there's mounting criticism. And like I said, if they go down to these next 2 weeks, if you're facing the Titans and Will Levis, who I think I'm not a Will Levis fan. Maybe it's because I don't like mayonnaise. I don't know. Maybe that's it. And then the next week you got Miami, and they might have the worst quarterback situation in the league. If we're sitting here in 2 Mondays or 2 Thursdays and talking about this defense giving up 400 yards and getting run on, then they've got issues because waiting down the way. I mean, you got Houston again, you got Buffalo, you got Minnesota, Detroit, the Jets. So you've got to start showing some improvement, and we really haven't. They had a couple of winnable games if that's our standard now defensively. So I don't know. Yeah, it's we'll see where this goes. Shane Steichen's been 100% in back of Gus Bradley. I'm not sure what firing on a DC would do when, for the most part, the defensive staff are his guys, and they'll run pretty much the same defense. So, but at some point, I mean, to do nothing when things don't change is not normally what happens in NFL. So if this thing continues the next 2 weeks against quarterbacks who really haven't established much at all, then we'll see how their patience is.
It just seems like you have to have if you're going to make Dallas Flowers accountable,
no question,
for his low level of play. Listen, I don't want to see guys get fired, but hell, I don't know what you're going to be able to do with a defensive coordinator. And for that matter, the guy that referenced Dallas Flowers as one of the reasons why they felt confident in that secondary moving forward without dabbling in free agency or bringing anybody in. I mean, it's all also on Chris Ballard. It's the same old damn story around here with that guy.
Agree.
It is constant.
Well, I think there is a stubbornness to Chris where he believes in his guys, and that's admirable. It is. But my argument's always been, you can have total faith in your players. You can. Young players got to get them develop, and they got to play. But that doesn't mean you don't have to go and get. I'll throw a name out there that worked for a year. Remember T.J. Carey? Wasn't expensive at corner and played pretty well for a year, and then not so much the next year. But you could have brought in a guy like that at corner to give you some help. Right now, one of their best corners is Sam Womack, who they got on waivers. So it's on one hand, I understand the struggles on defense because of the personnel. But this is, in a lot of areas, this is the personnel you guys decided on. You guys decided to not bring in a veteran corner. You decided not to bring in a veteran safety, which they've really done pretty well at safety so far because Nick Cross has been everything they wanted him to be. But I just think they sort of brought this on themselves in a couple positions. If Taylor doesn't play, it's Trey Sermon again. And I just, they should have had a Zach Moss type backup in here, and not in August or September, but back in April when you had some choices, and I don't know what those choices were back then. So, yeah, this is where they are, and until they start getting some people back, hopefully Kenny Moore. But the fact he practiced yesterday and didn't practice today makes me think that the hip didn't respond real well. So these are your guys. And, again, these next 2 weeks gives the defense a chance to not face, top 5, top 10 offenses. And, when that's the case, then you've got to show improvement statistically and on the scoreboard. Or what's going to change if you can't go against these guys and hold your own?
It's Mike Chappell of CBS 4 and Fox 59. 100%. What is going to change? It's just kind of the same old, which I think is driving everybody nuts here at this point regarding this defense. This defense has been just dreadful. And considering what we thought it was going to be, my other point on this is, and I know that it's going to sound ridiculous, but so often here in recent history, the fans have been more accurate in what they know about this team than the general manager regarding the secondary, regarding wide receivers. We had that long conversation here. You can't go down that way for a guy that's going into year number 8, and there is so little look back on to celebrate, as far as accomplishment here. You can't have that. And it just seems like time and time again, you're having to re-explain yourself as to why something didn't work.
Yeah, again, I understand that you have faith in your young kids. I do. You drafted these guys. Jalen Jones is starting to play pretty well. He really is. But Juju Brents can't stay on the field. And when you lose your top outside guy, the domino effect, it just kills you. All of a sudden, Chris Lamons is playing a lot more than, he's primarily been a special teams guy. And like I say, Samuel Womack is getting a lot of run because he has to. And to some extent, it could have been avoided. And again, I'm not saying going after Snead and paying $1 zillion. I'm just saying get that midline guy who has played X number of games. And when you would have signed these guys in late summer, it wouldn't have cost you an arm and a leg. That time was past. And if it doesn't work, then Chris Ballard and the personnel guys will have to answer for it. And we'll see what that means. And Gus Bradley will have to answer for it. And we'll see how that goes. But it's about accountability. And again, you're right. If they're going to start making players accountable by the extreme of Dallas Flowers, then it can't just be on the players. It's got to be more than that. And it's so easy to cut players from week to week. It's a cruel business, but it is. It is harder and more complicated to start firing coaches. It just is. We'll see what happens in New York when they get rid of Saleh. I don't know. That's a circus in New York. But most of the time, firing a coach doesn't get much done other than appease the fan base, which I would hope Chris Ballard and Jim Irsay, I hope they don't let the fan base steer their moves. That's really risky business. But at the same time, when it's not working, it's and you don't have good options, I don't know what you do. It's easy to fire Gus Bradley. It is. But you're still on the same team. Can a different voice get more out of them? I don't. One thing I thought was interesting, we talked to Zaire Franklin on Wednesday, and he said they need a change of behavior. And I wish I'd been there close enough to ask, what does that mean? What's behavior mean? It's not effort, but again, with the missed tackles every week, it's just killing them. And the running back this week, Tony Pollard, leads the league in yards after contact, which means if you don't wrap him up, he's going to get loose for 20, 30 or more yards at a time. So it's a difficult situation. There's the easy answer is to fire Gus Bradley. But I just don't know that solves things other than showing that you're getting something done. Again, I will not be at the head of the class asking for Gus Bradley's head. That's not me. I'll let other people do it. At the same time, if this thing continues, like I say, I'll go back. If this continues against two really mediocre to bad offenses, we'll see what their patience level is.
We shall see. This is an opportunity for them to take advantage, too, when you think about it. And it was a lost advantage opportunity last week. You get Tennessee, you get Miami. 4 or 5 on the road, I know, but still winnable games. And then, Mike, if you look ahead to November, that's not good at all right there. So to not take advantage of this, to me, this is absolutely going to ruin your season.
Well, it could. If especially losing to Miami at home would be inexcusable. They're not very good right now with their situation. Tennessee, it's down there, and they've got second time in 3 weeks we're playing the number one ranked defense in the league. Tennessee's of course, they've not played a great schedule, but yeah, this is these two games will tell you whether you've got a chance to do something, or if this is going to be a 6 or 7 win season. It just will. There's games that you're at worst a toss up, and in my mind, they should be a little bit of a favorite these next week, and certainly against Miami. And then again, you're going to find a way to kind of keep your head above water in that 4 or 5 game stretch when it really, really gets tough against quality opponents. And then the schedule eases up, but you got to be in position to take advantage of it when the schedule eases up, or you're just going to be buried.
Yeah, well, that's what that schedule gets you in November, though, if you don't take advantage of this right now. I mean, I know that everybody's firmly against, although I think a lot more people are on board with early season must-win calls with me that everybody used to laugh about, but you can't get past this. You know, Sunday and then next week against Miami, you can't get much more must-win than that, considering the circumstances.
Well, again, then it's at Houston, at Minnesota, home with Buffalo, which Buffalo, they're hard to figure out. The Jets, they're hard to figure out. Then Detroit comes in, but then after Detroit, you got at New England, they're a mess. The bye at Denver versus Tennessee here, at the Giants, and then home with Jacksonville. So, like I say, if you can get yourself to where a late season run works, then fine. But that's why if they could have found a way to make a stop and beat Jacksonville, and it was they had their chances with a depleted roster, they had their chances. But these next 2 weeks, if even splitting these games isn't going to do you very good. So we'll see where they're after 2 weeks, and if all the alarms are still up after 2 weeks, then this season's headed in the wrong direction.
Hey, curious, in Mike Chappell, before we go on the Andy Moore Automotive Group hotline, where's Jim Irsay in all this right now? I know clearly he's not as out there as he certainly has been 2 years ago. At the end of this month, that's when he decided to really take over the reins, and we saw Jeff Saturday came in, and it turned into a clown show. There's no doubt about that. But where is Jim 2 years fast forward today as opposed to where he once was as far as, in navigating this team as its owner?
I think he's still got his thumb on it. I just think that it's back to where you put people in place and let them make the decisions unless there's something that you really, really don't agree with. And now whether, again, another couple of really bad defensive performances, does the owner say, hey, make a change? But I think that what really works is for the owner to sort of stay out of it as much as possible and let the GM and his people run it. You put things in place. Again, I think it's always important to have the owner being involved, having input, but not mandating things, if you know what I'm talking about. So I just think that I don't think he's an absentee owner by not having input by any stretch, but I just think things work better when you let Chris Ballard, the GM, run the team, and if there's something you really don't agree with, then you step up. I don't know that we're there yet, but if Will Levis or Miami lights these guys up, we'll see if that stays the same.
Yeah. So do you think that he would all of a sudden show up and say, all right, enough is enough? We need to do something right now, like he did 2 years ago?
Not to that extreme. You're talking.
No, I'm not talking about the head
DC.
coach. The head coach is not good. Is Chris Ballard making all the moves now? I mean, should he be at all worried? People ask me all the time, should he worried about his gig? I don't think he should be worried about his gig because I think he's the one making the decisions on this.
I think he should be. Barring something catastrophic, your GM needs to be making the moves. He needs to be one making the decisions with input from the owner. This is not like Chris Ballard would make a big move, which now you're not making big moves, and then make the move, and then he calls Jim Irsay and says, "Well, just so you know, and you don't hear about it secondhand, I just did this." This is one to where there's collaboration, but I just hope we're back to where the owner has input, because Jim Irsay still knows more about football than I'll ever forget. I mean, he does. And I just think that they need that input. But we saw what happened when it went over the top, which that was out of character for Jim Irsay back then. That was out of character. It works better during the season. Let the GM, let the head coach do their jobs. And then at the end of the season, there's accountability one way or the other in most situations. But again, at some point, if Shane Steichen and Chris Ballard simply won't fire somebody, maybe the owner steps up. But even that, I just think to some degree that would undercut your power source up top. But to think Jim Irsay is not involved with the team would be wrong. I just think he's back to where he's letting, for the most part, the GM run things.
I know I got to run here. James is telling me so, but I sit here and I don't want to be the jerk, but Chris has been the root of the problem for such a long time right now. I don't know how this is going to get any better if he's the one that continues to pull the lever, including with himself. I don't know how this is going to get any better.
I don't know. And again, we'll see. We'll see how bad. I don't think Chris Ballard's on the hot seat. I really don't. I don't think their goals this season would allow that. But if this thing just goes in the tank with injuries and bad performance, then all bets are off. I just don't think that's the case, but things can change very quickly in the NFL.
Yeah, I'm not down with the injury excuse crap at this point. We've seen it both ways here, and none of it has worked. Hey, Mike, I appreciate it as always, man. Thank you very much. We'll hopefully have something much better to talk about next week.
Looking forward to it. Be well.
It's Mike Chappell of CBS 4 on Fox 59. Brent Halverson rejoins. Mousetrap 56 in Keystone. Matt Hibblin's in the house over here. Look at that. Matt Hibblin and Todd Meyer. Todd Meyer rolled up here, sunglasses on. I thought he was excise. Quick break. We'll come back. 93.5, 107.5 The Fan.
Flats guy.
Got a cool soul patch.
He does, and a buttery smooth voice.
Oh, yeah.
93.5 and 107.5. The Fan.
I got to thank you for joining us today. We've had a blast. We call it the legendary Mousetrap because it is 56 in Keystone. Larceny Bourbon Locks, Luna Azul Tequila Shots. It's a big deal when Matt Hiblin and Todd Meyer come out here for sure. Debs, the on-site engineer, James back in the studio tomorrow. Bud Light Blue Friday at Gigi's Bar and Grill at 71st in Benford. Brent Holverson rejoins right now. Our Larceny Bourbon Locks and Luna Azul Tequila Shots on a Thursday for week number 6. And this reminder, you have got Clayton Anderson downtown at Everwise Amphitheater at White River State Park tonight. The headliner. I will see you down there to hang out just a little bit. Brent brought up William Strang's a little bit earlier. Friday and Saturday, back-to-back sold-out shows at Cambridge Fieldhouse.
Billy Strings is and I will go ahead and tell you this, John.
Yes.
So Billy Strings has played the last 2 years here at which is Everwise Amphitheater, the lawn downtown, and sold out, packed, 9,000 people. So now Cambridge is a little different setting, but we will see Billy Strings up at Ruoff, I would say, next year and beyond, selling out across the country. I mean, guy just had his first child. He's a young guy, but, man, John, he's awesome. He is so awesome.
He's having kids right now. He can't even reap the benefits of going out there.
He had his first child a week and a half ago, I believe now. Yeah.
Spread the seed
You know, hey, he's a talented guy over there. So, you know. But no, hey, and we'll get Troy and Mike back up here shortly. But they're doing a bus, a little VIP shuttle to and from Cambridge for Billy Strings here from the Mousetrap. And you get a beautiful limo bus with all the confines of beautiful restrooms for your ride. I know they're going to stop by our friends at the Slippery Noodle. Go down there and have a little pre-gaming beverage, which I'll probably be down there as well. Or try to hit the Noodle and see our good buddy Tommy Sutton at Coach's, too.
I love Tommy.
A lot of good stuff going on downtown. And you're down there when tonight or tomorrow night? Tomorrow night?
I am going tonight at Everwise.
Okay, Michelle's going tomorrow night then, she mentioned down there.
Yes, she is.
She's playing there, too. So
Yep.
a lot of stuff. And then Pink is at Lucas Oil on Saturday.
Really now?
Yeah.
Pink is on Saturday night
That's
at
what I
Lucas
hear.
Oil? Holy crap.
That's what I hear. Indy's hopping, baby, and the weather couldn't be better.
Yeah,
you know?
well, we got that. We got announced last week Billy Joel and Sting.
That's right. That's going to be a show.
that Taylor Swift and 3 shows coming up to start November here. Back to back Swift.
It's going to be good for the Indiana Swiftonomics. Swiftonomics. Is that what they call it?
I came to the conclusion, I think that it's going to be 90% out-of-market people.
Oh, absolutely.
There's going to be a lot of people from around here.
Can you imagine what these tickets go for?
Yeah.
I mean, it is unreal. Thousands of dollars. But, hey, hats off to her. And did I ever tell you my story, though, when I got
Please, show me.
So this was back in
Taylor Swift story.
2007. I was working at National Wine and Spirits, which is now RNDC. But I had the task. We had a suite at Conseco Fieldhouse. I think it was still then, maybe it was not before that, but it was at Conseco, and it was Clint Black was your headliner. It was I forget who the second big name was, and this new upcoming girl that I've never heard of. Her name was Taylor Swift. Well, her parents were in the suite that I was hosting, so I got a chance to hang out and talk with her parents, and the great people. I just kind of wish I would have rubbed elbows a little bit closer and gotten a few numbers because my girls would like to be going to these shows, and I got to make some calls.
There's nobody more popular.
Oh,
than
there's
she
not
is right now.
There's not at all. And something else I was watching. Never talk politics, but I was watching the debate, and then of course she tweets out something about where her voting angle was, and they said instantly that just gravitated to millions of people.
I don't think there's anybody out there more popular. Is there anybody? And I mean any celebrity, political figure?
I don't think so.
Anybody
not
more
now.
popular
Not
than
this.
she is?
Not right now. No, not at all. I mean, music, sports, whatever. I mean, she's got it. And she's got that angle. And hats off to her for what she's done. And she's talented, but she's no Billy Strings in my eyes, John. So I'm going to tell you that right there.
Billy Strings back to back
Billy
Friday
Strings.
and Saturday at Cambridge Fieldhouse. That's Brent Holverson. I'm JMV. Again, 2 baseball games tonight. You get the Guardians and the Tigers. Detroit, an opportunity at home to close out Cleveland, move on to the ALCS. And the Yankees, a chance to close out on the road against Kansas City and move on to the American League Championship Series. With a win later on this evening, those are your 2 games. Pacers on the road in Cleveland. Again, that can only be heard right here. 6:30, your coverage begins. as we get the pregame going for you. Pat Boylan, Mark Boyle, and Eddie Gill with the Pacers and the Cavaliers preseason game number 2 for the Pacers coming up later on tonight as well. And as we mentioned a little bit earlier, Mount Vernon volleyball coming up at you tonight.
That's right. It's the final home game against New Pal. Final home game
right
tonight.
there.
It is a big deal. It's a big deal for us. And, you know, you talked earlier about certain classifications of people.
Yes.
Well, I won't put a classification on that. But however, I will say this is a big rivalry right here for the Mount Vernon girls and the New Pal Dragons, if you will. But it's going to be fun. I mean, these girls they're good, John. It's fun to watch them. I'm gonna have a hard time not seeing her play her high school ball after they get done through sectionals until next year, and then they'll all be seniors. So, but no, they're great. They're fun to watch. We got our good friend Brett Werner is in the house.
I saw Brett a little bit earlier.
So he drove in from Fort Myers. He lives just by my sister in Fort Myers, and they had the big hurricane that came through, right?
Yeah.
So he got in his Jeep, and he brought his little pups on up. He came back to visit. He's been on 5 days in a row of music, and he's going to both Billy String shows, and he's going to something tonight. Elevators tonight at Hi-Fi. This dude's coming up here, and he's taking a little sabbatical from the Milton debacle, but it wasn't bad, thank God, right? It wasn't too bad. Everything's good back home? Awesome, man. Yeah, he works at Margaritaville, the brand new Margaritaville in Fort Myers, which is a beautiful, beautiful spot. But they took a little beating from the previous hurricane, and then
Milton came in.
Then old Milton comes by.
Yeah.
But,
and now it's his presence.
And he came all the way up
well.
here just to see us, man.
That's awesome, man.
Isn't that
Thank you for
great?
coming out, brother. We appreciate that, too. Colts injury report, as we mentioned a little bit earlier. Anthony Richardson was a full go in line to start coming up on Sunday down in Nashville. Center Ryan Kelly also was full. Quiddy Pay was limited trying to come back in practice today. Did not participate would be Kenny Moore. We'll watch that. Jonathan Taylor. Braden Smith, right tackle, practice in full. Trey Sermon, the same. Michael Pittman Jr. and Josh Downs. We know about the situation with Michael Pittman Jr., and we will watch that of the availability of Josh Downs as we move in tomorrow and the weekend as well. We'll come back. Brent Halverson rejoins. We're live at the Mousetrap. Keystone, 56th Street, the location, Indianapolis. We're having a blast on what is a Large City Bourbon Locks Luna Azul Tequila Shots Thursday, 93.5, 107.5 The Fan.
It should be more natural, brother. It should flow out like this. Look, man, I ain't falling for no banana in my tailpipe.
93.5 and 107.5. The Fan.
All right, tell me all about this, Brent Holverson.
Good old song. It's a little Billy Strings and Willie Nelson doing a little California Sober here, John.
Not that right there. Billy Strings.
Hey, speaking of Billy Strings, so again, we talk tomorrow night and Saturday night at Gamebridge Fieldhouse.
Right on.
Our great friends Mike and Troy here at the Mousetrap have a wonderful VIP way to travel. And Troy, why don't you tell us, you got a bus coming up here ready to take people down in style, right?
Yes, we do. We have been doing this for about 10 years to a lot of the music shows that our regulars and friends like to go to. So we've done it for Grateful Dead, The Fish. The Fish.
Just the one.
Yeah,
the
one.
Fish.
Yeah, and so this year we're doing it for Billy. We did it last year and sold it out in about a week for Garfield Park. And this year we have it leaving here hopefully by 5:30. And then safe ride down to Gamebridge Fieldhouse. It's $35 round trip.
Look at that.
BYOB.
With a bathroom on it, right?
Exactly.
So you've got your facilities there ready to roll.
Full-size custom luxury Prevo bus.
And does that also roll into coming back
you
here?
Get free
and
admission to the show.
I mean,
as well
right there, you
afterward.
can't beat that, right? You got some great music coming up this weekend.
Yeah, so you've got a safe ride and the after party all included.
Yeah, we got Funk Bud Johnny on Friday. They're a local legend. They've been around for 20-plus years. Then on Saturday, we've got Cycles out of Denver, Colorado. They're
that's awesome.
Very good band.
You guys have been, I mean, the music, and hats off to both of you guys, right? I mean, you know me, I'm a big music fan, and what you guys have done for the music scene here in not only Indianapolis, but Indiana and surrounding states is amazing. I mean, you guys bring in some serious music and talent here, so thank you for that.
Yeah, applause for that,
Yeah,
too.
look at that. Yeah, look at that. I mean, really you do, and hats off to you for what you've done. So, Mike, how long have you owned this place?
22 years last August.
22 years.
Garcia's birthday, August 1st of 2002.
That's awesome. And Troy's been here for 21 of those?
20, 21, something like
That's
that.
awesome, boys. Love it.
Awesome, man. Well, thank you for having us once again, as always, too.
Absolutely.
Always love coming to
pleasure
the
coming
Mousetrap.
here.
Hey, your Harris Hoosier Park race of the day, 50-50, and betting and dining going to Gareth Galino. The winning horse was Straight Escape. $2.60 on a $2 bet was won. The $2 exacta payout was $9.40. The 50-cent trifecta, $7.85. Gareth's going to get 50-50 in betting and dining from Harris Hoosier Park Racing and Casino. We got you one more time with your race of the day. Coming up, Brent, tomorrow in the 5 o'clock hour.
That's outstanding. Hey, you know what also starts tomorrow, John?
What is that?
That is the Elijah Craig Old Fashioned Week that runs from tomorrow, October 11th.
Old Fashioned Week.
Through the October 20th date. And if you pull up oldfashionedweek.com, you can see what all accounts here in the wonderful state of Indiana are participating. And we just happen to be sitting at one of them right here. So if you want a good old-fashioned, an outstanding old-fashioned, Megan, hats off to you for making those wonderful old-fashions earlier. Come into the Mousetrap and grab yourself an Elijah Craig Old Fashioned to celebrate this iconic week.
I love that, too, and we got to be on the road again next week, don't we, for week 7?
Absolutely are, and next week, John, we're going to be at the Ale Emporium in Castleton.
Yes.
So right off of what's called 86th Street, but it's right off of 82nd and Allisonville. They're back by the... that Costco run and all that jazz
I think
back
Scott
through there.
and the gang,
Everybody knows what
they're adding on to it right now,
so
aren't they?
The other side is amazing. I had a chance to tour that a few weeks back, and before too long, that whole plaza is going to be the El Emporium. I mean, they're going to take over the entire
El Emporium
thing.
complex.
But no, we'll be there. Looks excited to be there, and back to see Scott Bond and the boys at the El Emporium. So. But again, a big thanks here to Mike and Troy, Mousetrap, for having us. We love you guys. We love what you guys do. Again, great music this weekend. Billy Strings tie-in with the bus. How do they get a hold of the bus, Troy, if somebody
this
wants
is
to?
all through Eventbrite. We have links through our Facebook account, or just go on Eventbrite and just search for the Mousetrap Billy Strings, and it'll bring it up. It's very seamless.
It's awesome.
Yep.
Awesome. Guys, thanks for having us.
Glad to have you.
Yeah, appreciate it.
Great.
Ask
Thank
for the
you, guys.
chicken salad there.
The best chicken salad in the state of Indiana right here. I'm going to go ahead and put my stamp on that. That's my larceny lock of the week,
I love
John.
that. That's a good
chicken
lock
salad
right
right
there.
here.
That is much better. Yes, much better. All right, guys, thank you very much.
Thank you so much.
Thanks,
Fellas,
fellas.
Mike and Troy right there. Brent Holverson's got to bail, too, to go to a volleyball game. We got to hang because we got Colts Daily Update coming up as well. Me and Matt Taylor, voice of the Colts. Got a little conversation before that. Bottom of the hour preseason game 2 with the Pacers and the Cavaliers from Cleveland. All that and more coming up. Sit tight. We'll come back with you after 6. We go nowhere with what is a fun Thursday here at 56th and Keystone. Legendary Mousetrap, 93.5, 107.5 The Fan.
The Ride with JMV.
Well, we're waiting.
93.5 and 107.5. The Fan.
All right, I guess we got a little 10 minutes or so of anything goes. If you guys want to pull that off at 239-1070, that is just fine. And I thank Brent Halverson at Heaven Hill Distillery. Both Troy and Mike for having us here today on what has been a fantastic afternoon at the Mousetrap. Always make the Mousetrap your place to go. Great food, great beverages, and live music right here at 56th and Keystone. Tomorrow, Bud Light Blue Friday is at 71st in Benford. Our location is GG's Bar and Grill. Dolphins, Colts tickets to give away and all the latest regarding not just the matchup coming up on Sunday, but moving forward, too, with the rest of the season. But if you want to do some anything goes, we can right now at 239-1070. Again, 239-1070. Anything goes for about 15 minutes. We'll get you the Colts Daily Update, Matt Taylor and I, and then you got Pacer preseason game number 2 on the road in Cleveland. Mark Boyle has the call. Pat Boylan will be a part of it as well. You get the Pacers and the Cavaliers coming up later on tonight from Cleveland right here on the Fan. I'd mentioned, too, coming up in a couple of minutes, you're going to get that start in Detroit. The Tigers with a chance to close out. The Guardians of Cleveland in the ALDS with a win. They move on to the ALCS, and the same holds true for the Yankees on the road tonight versus the Kansas City Royals. They have a closeout opportunity in their best of 5. So that would be your matchup if both the Tigers and the Yankees win tonight. That's your ALCS matchup. Otherwise, if you get a Guardians and or a Royals win, you're going to have a decisive game number 5 in the divisional round in the American League. You also got another coming up with the Padres and the Dodgers. Of course, the Mets lie in wait, or the National League. In the National League Championship Series as they wait for that outcome with the Padres and the Dodgers out west. So, yeah, a lot to talk about today. If you missed any of the show regarding the Colts, Anthony Richardson was practicing in full. So the thought is he's going to be a starter coming up on Sunday down in Nashville. Now, not the same holds true for some of the other important pieces of this Colts team, especially offensively. Jonathan Taylor was out. Josh Downs was out. You know the situation with Michael Pittman Jr. all across the board problematic. 2.5-point underdogs of the Colts down in Tennessee coming up on Sunday. And, the Titans haven't been anything to write home about either. And obviously, Will Levis, their quarterback, has been a big part of the problem. We talked to Dave McGinnis yesterday. Thank you very much, Mike. I appreciate that. From the Titans Radio Network, the former NFL coach, about a variety of things, and especially the way that the Titans have turned the football over. And a lot of that has been on the shoulders of Will Levis. So he was back at practice this week at a full go. And we'll see what happens coming up on Sunday with that. But now a lot to figure out as we move forward and get into tomorrow as well and the final practice. At least that practice in which during the week you can make that determination, whether or not guys are going to participate most of the time for the Colts. Going to be very important tomorrow, to say the least. If you missed Mike Chappell from CBS 4 and Fox 59, that podcast at 107.5 The Fan. .com. You can find it there. Kristen Derry, of course, talked some Pacers with us a little bit earlier today, too. And our Larceny Bourbon Locks and Luna Azul Tequila Shots. Now, again, tomorrow, as we do the Friday Bud Light Blue Friday from Gigi's Bar and Grill, the normal Mike Wells of ESPN Radio, Don Fisher, voice of the Hoosiers. IU actually with a bye week coming up tomorrow. Next up for IU at 6-0. They get Nebraska a week from Saturday, but an off weekend for Kurt Cignetti and the Hoosiers coming up on Saturday. Don Fisher, voice of the Hoosiers. Spiro Ditas, once again, will, for CBS, be on the call of the Colts and the Titans on Sunday. Spiro joins us coming up at 4:30. That is as a part of tomorrow's show, again, live at GG's with us. So, man, there is a lot going on, to say the least. I mentioned this a little bit earlier, too. You got high school football, which is getting ready to close out the regular season with the pairing show on the way as well. In another weekend of that, we'll talk about that with Bob Lovell coming up on tomorrow's show as well. Gigi's Bar and Grill, 71st and Benford. That is coming up tomorrow. I also want to remind you of this. Those of you that are thinking about going, I would do that later on tonight. Our friend Clayton Anderson, the country music artist who joined us on the show yesterday, has a live show that is coming up tonight. He is the headliner at Everwise Amphitheater downtown at White River State Park in what should be a fantastic time this evening. So if you're on your way down, be sure to make sure you say hello to me. I'm going to stop by and watch Clayton perform this evening in what is the absolute most perfect night to watch live music that I can remember down at Everwise Amphitheater. That is coming up later on tonight with Clayton Anderson, who was on the show yesterday, talking about that opportunity, talking about giving back to the community, those that serve the community as well, which he is doing coming up later on tonight. Everwise Amphitheater. Tickets are available right now for you, too. Hey, for those of you that are going down to Tennessee this weekend, I've heard from a lot of you. I didn't want to put this out to, caller number 9 at 239-1070, whatever. This is more those that just tell me because I want to make sure these go to good use. But the same Bullseye event crew that puts on the Colts VIP tailgate, every single Colts home game around here, also does the same thing down in Nashville. Kyle Kinnett and the gang before those Tennessee games. And he had called me today making sure that I mentioned that if you're going down to the game, you can be a part of the Colts VIP, or check this, the Titans VIP tailgate in Nashville coming up on Sunday. And in fact, because he had mentioned this, I decided to talk this up and give you the opportunity to be a part of that coming up on Sunday as well. So if you're going down and checking out the matchup on Sunday, make sure you tell me all about that. And while supplies last, I will give you a chance to go down there and check out what is the Titans VIP tailgate, like Brady did as well. I know that our friend James back at the studio set up a lot of people with that as well. But now, just a great way to get things going with your Sunday. No matter what happens during the game, you want to make sure your Sunday game day experience is the best it can be, and you can certainly do that with bullseyeeventgroup.com. And that Colts, check this in this case, the Titans VIP tailgate. And it's so much like what you see here at the Bullseye Event Center. It's on the river down on the Cumberland River, I believe what it is, down there in Nashville. Great time coming up on Sunday. So we'll give you a chance to win those tickets, again, those VIP tailgate passes for you coming up again on tomorrow's show. Our Larceny Bourbon Locks and Luna Azul Tequila Shot started with the Niners and the Seahawks coming up later on tonight. Last week wasn't so good for the Niners, right? My picks to click so far have been really good with the Cardinals and the Commanders. I am going to continue to ride them both, but took the Niners on the road in Seattle as 3.5-point favorites against the Seahawks coming up later on tonight. Your Thursday night game is that. Your London matchup, Jaguars and Bears, coming up on Sunday as well, and our Larceny Bourbon Locks and Luna Azul Tequila Shots. We'll talk about that a little bit more in depth coming up tomorrow. But live again from the Mousetrap on 56th and Keystone, me and Matt Taylor, voice of the Colts. We'll talk about the injury situations and that possibility, that distinct possibility that Anthony Richardson is good to go coming up on Sunday, back from injury with the matchup with the Titans. That is a part of the Colts Daily Update. That's coming up next, live here at the Mousetrap. Matt Taylor joins us. Don't go anywhere. It's 93.5 and 107.5 The Fan.